Siana Naru Haira Kawanara Sidanawa Inawanaya. That's it. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Light Languages, Activations and Collective Healing Intentions. I'm Ismael Rodriguez. We are here spreading the light languages in the world and many other things that we will be channeling during this session. We are in the week 93. Everything started in November 2019 when I was guided to create these sacred spaces for people who are getting their light languages activated or other gifts activated, and they didn't know what to do. So that people could find a place where it could be heard and listened and share all those transformations and changes and not feel alone. Because it's really challenging when we are going through these big changes. So the first thing that we are going to do, well, with me, I have brother Wesley from Ireland, sister Erin from Canada, and brother Luis from Brazil. And yeah, we are regulars. We know each other now for a while, for a year or something, but also from previous timelines. That's what we've been chatting about for a while before we started the recording. And yes, many of you might find out that you are also gathering with other brothers and sisters who have a lot in common with you, not only from this lifetime, but from many others. And that's wonderful, because this is what is happening. It's really a uniting of the human race. We are coming together, and that's why light languages are here also, so that we can connect with each other from the heart, and not be so judgmental toward any brother, sister, system, and things, but start feeling and enjoying life from a different perspective and different angles. So what we are going to start doing are some blessings, so that we clear the space and that we cleanse the space. Some of us, we brought some instruments also that we will be playing. So let's see how it sounds. We are not here musicians, professional musicians. We invite you to start also playing instruments without expectations. Just play instrument, just like out of curiosity. Just play things, just as when you were a child, and get into the fun of it. And you will see how you get a connection with the instrument. Eventually, you might not, but you might. So it's worth to try and to see if you have some sort of affinity with the instruments that we have in the world. So yeah, there is a call and an invitation here from the energy that we've been sharing of get back to these instruments, no matter how old they might look, no matter how weird they might look or sound. If you feel that call, like when you're feeling the call from a crystal, get the instrument and play it, and go in that journey of discovery and see what happens and what's the outcome. You might get surprised. As we were saying, many of us, we are connected to other timelines, or maybe from other timelines or other realms. We knew about these instruments here on Earth, and that creates a special connection with that sound or that instrument. And music is part of us. The frequency that we are made of vibrates and raise when we play the ancient or any new modern instruments, that they are so amazing. When I find these people so ingenious, building up new instruments that you've never seen before, and the sounds are really futuristic. Maybe for some realms they still look ancient, but for us humans, some of them, because they are totally new, the sounds really cool. And yeah, if you are here or if you are attracted to light languages, you might be very much in that wave, also in that wave of connecting to music and frequencies and all of that. You will see how much that also help the awakening or any transitioning of pain or difficulties that you might going through with these massive waves of energies that we are receiving on Earth. So just the same thing that we've been saying for years now. Listen to your heart, listen to your soul, and follow it. Follow that instinct of a child that you have inside, or of a girl or boy that you have inside. We started actually having a chit chat before the recording about these times that we were doing things when we were teenagers and children. And it was very beautiful to share with my brothers and sisters here. And I believe that it has so much connection with everything that is going to happen, because always when we start talking about something, no matter how random sounds, it has some sort of connection with what is happening next, and it's mind-blowing, really. Let's start with the blessings. The blessings are nothing religious. They are just light languages that come with very powerful frequencies also, that what they do is to clear up any dense energy that might not be there helping us to flow or allowing us to flow. So we remove blocks, we remove tensions, we clean the space, and we also create a massive, wonderful protection of light around us. So let's start. My brother Wesley's first there. Brother.
Thanks very much, Ismail. Thanks, everyone else there as well within the group. Super grateful. Right, blessings. Bakia ta tua ta awasia kia tua nai akahua awasaia na nakia tua o wasaia wahia tua taiaka nakia ko taiata o wasaia na naneia kua Kaya sayata o ata neaka kiata awa sua nia aya kia kua aya saya sia hua taia 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 haya tua taia kuata kuataia saiata Iata o asawata. Nakuata kayaka. Kia ya tua iata. Bawasakuata. Ayaka uata. Ayaka uata. O ataiaka na ua. O asaiata ayakuata. Kaya kau taiata kia wasa tua maiaka kia kuata aya sayata ni atau ataia aya katua ua saua e atua taia katua bako uata kia wasa ni akaiata Awasa uata iaka uata kauata. Keia kauata iwa. Huasa uata iaka. Kiuata iata iata. Nai uata uata. kiwa ia wa ia. Awasa ia kana uata. Kiwata uata kiota. Mba ia ko kiwata uata. Na iata. Mba iaka. Iwasa. Na wata uata uata. Wasa kuata iaka na iwata. Uata uata na iwatiata. Kiwa ya tuata. Maya tua kana yuata uasa kuata kiata kana uata ta yuata. Uata ka uata. Eata no uata uata. Kiwata uata yata tuata. Kuasa yuati uata uata na yata. Thanks very much. Dinasi uata kua. Oishi e iato uata tokini konaka. Payata uata. Oh, thanks.
Believe it or not, Wesley's there. Erin.
Thank you, Wesley. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I will play my Shruti box if that's okay. I didn't really show it, but
Of course.
and we'll see what comes through. I don't know. I might just switch back to speaking light language, but I'm just gonna trust spirit. Okay. Teoto Shaya Kosha Kumaya Terisi Waupaiki Tu Sara Tushaya Kimawa Tawishe Tarisi Kimawa Tawishe Teyam Goeshaku Toeke Kea Toko Toeshe Tarisi Kua Soko Toeshe Yauto Tausi Sao toeshe kumaya tai yam toeshe tu ete arotoko toeshe Yame te yokuto eshe kuto eshe. Ima tauke toto eshe kimakaya koshaku. Dure to shokuto eshe kutumaya. Shuto eshe kuto eshe tumaya to shukuto eshe. Yanto eshe titao koto eshe. Yanto eshe.
Thank you, Brother Wesley, and thank you, Erin, so much. And now is Luis.
Hi everyone. Om. 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 Makaye. Makaye ana. Makaye te ana. Makaye autonoye. Nakaye to toyena. Nakaye to koye. Nakayo no ye. Kaye to koye nana. Oh. Oh. Nakaye te keshiana nakaye te keana. Nakaye ke tanaye. Nakaye te koye nanakaye to koye. Oh. Oh. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you, Luis. Hatumakia huatini kiwakawutini shakawanteni ikiokumbataikaka. One ishaukakaikakama ishakuaopakaika. Isanaku tikakum. Tane isakum tai inakuomat akuote shakawa. Ena o ko o teka kwant iniki aku matai sana. Ontana ikakua sa ine esakwatena. Ena kumatai siyanakuma. Ena tene ke humai sana in takum tanahon tanahum inakahon tae sanakahum sanakum takakiro huay kakana huaysa o te senakuatana Ontana kumata ikum tatasom. Shene yakumese. Shene kesumataya. Tumahanakuna taun sakoshanako. Sheshio konta sawakahala. Honlekishikioloma. Inanakaota saiki siakwa. Desana kuntai sana kuntaya. Life are like waves of frequency. Kakuni shakun. Eshen takumataki. Enarakahotai shinikunatako. Sanatunata, let your expression flow as the frequency that you are, which will start interconnecting with the other frequencies which are already interacting and coexisting with each other, creating and manifesting other realities, Kuakitatua, in your dimension, another dimension at the same time that we speak Akuta Ookl Iok Asayum Anakaota Isha An Awakauba Ikatayute Shana Oka Huatita, or practice the exercises where you can place your mind a little bit aside, as we were saying before, placing the judgment aside. Ki atawa, let your frequencies flow, let your expression from the inner child flow. Hatuos aya and play, have fun. Tayuku sha otikla initishen. That's how you can use these energies coming now to Earth. They are Google Tishkokai Dini One Anik Wok Tish Awaini. They are like cascades or waterfalls coming to you, but you can make use of them by playing, by using them, by projecting them into things that you like doing, into things that you like doing or using as an exciting activity. Akuma asioro aka isene isukua ita anna la kaota itala o tikna akawa. Don't stay there standing and just as an spectator, receiving them, feeling like what are they here to do, and wait for that moment of judgment when you say, oh, accidentally I'm overcharged. Yes, they are coming to you, but they are coming to you to be used. They are coming to you to be transformed. You can do so many things. You can grab them and transform it into geometry and use them for healing. You can use them for expression through instruments. You can use them for channeling. You can use it to just do anything you like. Use that energy. Don't just stay still, waiting for something to happen. Tana kupaisi sawaiena onaka anatai ora kusanatai tata. If you have difficulties doing certain activities like meditating or some of sort of other activity like qigong, yoga, use these energies to help you. Use these energies because they are not here to really overwhelm you. They are really here to be used. They are here really to help you and support you and assist you with all the things that you've been collecting and gathering over the last decades. these tools that you've been coming across with, you can now fusion and merge this energy and fuse this energy with these things that you already know. Kakuai shawai ti takaon taan ishakawa. Use them to heal those moments from the past, so you feel sadness and you know where that sadness comes from. You use these energies to heal that part of you, that child inside. Kia na wa tawa tishakawa mes awa hona as untina. You can grab them and project them to earth. You can grab them and project them to another brother and sister. You can grab them and send it to anything, really. Use your creativity. And that's why all of this is happening. This is happening to support you, not to really overwhelm you. Really, it is overwhelming when you offer resistance to them and when you just don't use them. But this part of the nature you are living, the nature and the ascension you are living all alone. Tia kawa shinia untai tiana saukumas itan awaka. The period of ascension has been always happening. You are only talking more about it because it's more, let's say, perceptible to your senses. Tika kurna, tika wata, but you've been always changing, transforming, transmutating energies. Tatuma kaos and ahuna akahurna. Eshena kahana tachana tutiana. Tinata, do not take things too seriously. Use things. That's why they are coming to you, to all of you. Hanakwa, shenekiona natihanana, onetaishana watati. Focus. Your sensitivity is going to increase. You are going to become more vulnerable. Focus on those things that are positive in your life. And yes, you can see and look at those that they are negative in the other side, but look at them only just to find maybe a solution, maybe to heal those areas. Hanawatai, but don't stay there, don't stitch to the pain. Tanakunle, let this energy to take place and heal and move those dense areas of yourselves. Tika wakaitana, shana kahanatai shana. Times to stop giving so much importance what other things about you, about what you're doing, about what you are playing. Katinana, hana, moments of expression, no matter what. Shianakua, sometimes you are the worst judges of your own selves. There is no mistake, there is nothing wrong. Let it go, let it go, let that program, let that old programming go, and let the new opportunities to come in, and allow yourselves to play, allow yourself these new versions of you. Hatuna Ati to become Hanaka Juan Tiana, the new versions of yourselves. Shanaku Hanasawa Ene Hanatash Anatainta. Work with your chakras. Don't only work on the chakras of others, you can play with your chakras. And when I say play, we don't mention play without consciousness or awareness. You've been gathering all this wisdom for centuries and timelines, so use them for also you enhance your states of being. Katuma as ienekikawa is io taita nata, but you can sometimes also in some sense play with your own energies. How does it feel to put my hands on my heart chakra? How does it feel if I combined one hand passing energy to my throat chakra and passing energy to my solar plexus chakra? Play, and you will discover or remember so many things that you already know. This applies to every single thing, to everything, every single methods, alchemy, taku, kaitana, inekinaka, alchemy, magic, utana, sawa, has been always there, kawa, sineti, times to bring that magic to play. First, you need to go through playing and testing and trying these human experiences. Then you can bring much more of all those memories that you have inside, but you need to let open the first doors to, let's say to self-discovery. Kahuanta I kahoti shane shini shawanta na enata. Enjoy, don't forget to enjoy. We will be having contacts, a lot of contacts, and we will be working with them in alliance with the elementals, so that between the angelic beings and the elemental, we brings more joy to the humanity. But never forget, you are the ones who have this permission. You need to give that permissions to us so that we can interchange or aid at some moments when you need. You are free, and from that freedom, we cannot interact with you unless you give those permissions. Sometimes it might sound repetitive to be asking always or praying always for something, but this is not because the creator or the source wanted to create that as a extra difficulty for all of you. It was just because the creator or source wanted to give you the most wonderful thing of all, which is freedom. So you need to give permission to other beings, or even including sometimes yourself, so that new energies come to you. Kahaina tawanta ishana kunta ishana tawa ki or genuinely pray for things, genuinity, be heart, be just simple, nice energy without any more expectations. Ask from that love, ask from that humble atia ahuta isa natau and ayane kuo isana seneki nitanak otai itiana. You are your own healers. Hana quanta isana inata. You are the creators of that past of happiness. Hene sawati, allow it. Hene anaku, allow it and use all that is at your disposal. Kawan Tiana, thank you. Tiana, ome kikiantoa, be blessed. Tana, kumesine. Nikia kuata. Anel is here. Good timing. Oh my God.
That was beautiful.
Thank you, love. Thank you. Yeah, it's more and more. The more that time passed, the less, like in the channeling was mentioned, the less I give importance to those moments when you make a mistake because of the language or because of anything. Really, I know that I get stuck often in some things. And before that was making me feel really anxious, but it's the same message. It's the same message for everything. No, it's the same message that we were bringing for the instrument, about playing an instrument, and about giving a go to something that we feel excited about. And so don't worry too much. Don't let your judgmental mind to interfere and to stop you from doing what you love the most. Don't let anything to step on your way. You know what is your own nature. You know in what direction to go. Often, as it was saying, you are your own obstacle. So let go all of that seems to be in the way. Katumata Sintiana. Hello. Are you feeling like giving a blessing?
Sure. How are you guys doing today?
We just started.
Good timing, I guess. Right?
We've been chatting. Yeah, we were drinking beers, smoking joints.
I missed the party again.
Just missed the party, yeah. Oh my God. And Luis was with laser lights, even like disco dance there, or Brazilian music in the background. Yeah, nice to see you, El.
See you guys. At Wesley in the dark there?
Yeah, because we were talking about ancients before, and so he decided to go to the cave.
Oh.
Well, it just suddenly just went dark. So all the blessings were running through. So I said I'd wait till they were run through before I turn on the lights.
He's trying to show to the world that darkness is part of the light, and light is part of the darkness.
Balance, isn't it?
Yes.
It's all about balance.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
It's
Balancing the
spheres.
Yeah, recently I have had a lot of messages about that, about the yin and yang, and the coexistence with the darkness and the light, and the importance that we transcend our judgments toward darkness, our judgment about instead of pointing at, criticizing, just transcend that and understand that it's playing its role. It's playing its role all the time. It's playing the role. It's playing different roles. Like the light is playing its roles, darkness is playing its roles, and as the yin yang symbol, they are perfectly coexisting, and we truly need to transcend that critical part that we have from all that huge experience that we have had of darkness through the Pisces era, no, or a stage of humanity. And yeah, we are in Aquarius, we are ascending and all of that, but by just focusing on criticizing the darkness and blah, blah, I don't think that we are doing any good to ourselves. So maybe we can send light to those areas where there is darkness, and maybe we will be doing much more than if we criticize and we point and we keep focusing on how bad those parts of the world or certain things in the world are. Send love to these areas. Yes.
It's so true. I was channeling yesterday, and it was just a silver lining. And it was the silver lining in between the light and the dark, and just how we all have that same frequency of the silver lining. And if we just stay on that path with our truth, that, you know, the debris from the dark side comes on our path, the light from the light side comes on our path, in, you know, in the direction and at the timing that it's needing to. And then, yeah, if we focus upon that dark debris, then it starts to pull us in that darker shade.
Totally.
And then, yeah, it's the same as if we go to the light, we get too much sunshine and lollipops that we get lost in our fantasy world and we're not here either. So yeah, there's a lot of just enjoying every bit of it, because we'll just travel through it much more enjoyably if we don't really question it, you know. It's just crazy.
She wasn't even here. The channeling I just done, it was talking about that, love, and they weren't even here.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like
We're really on the same frequency, right?
Oh yes, it's
I like
amazing.
what you said about
Always.
traveling through it, because that's what we're doing. Like everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. And you know that saying, this too shall pass, and traveling through it is really important, and that it's part of our process of awakening really is being able to see these shadows, right? And then being able to travel through it, acknowledge it. And that's how we're going to heal it all. Because we can't heal it if we don't know it's there, right? We can't heal it if we don't feel it. So I just really like the words travel through it, because that really brings peace to my heart. Because it's not like you have to go through it. It's like, no, we're actually traveling, like we're moving through it. You know, no matter which way you look at it, we're making progress. And there is, you know, we might be in the thick part of the woods, but there's an end to it at the same time. So I really love that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not about, like you say, it's not about letting ourselves be abused or stay in that state of suffering or being masochist. It's not about that. It's about going with everything, being active and look at everything with less, let's say, less drama, and just understanding that if we look back in our life, every single point of darkness took us to another point of light, and like that everything was mixed, and then today, better than ever, we can feel with this massive wave of energy how clear that darkness is and how clear that light is. And now is when we can truly play with it much easier than before, because before we were also like in a numb state, and we were not knowing so many things that we just needed some time to come across with other things, so that we get awakened, and then we start discerning why these things are happening. But now we know, we got to this point that now we know what's going on really, in a way, no? And then these energies are coming. So now that we see all these extremes, all of that things, yeah, let's make the best of it. Let's make the best of it, because as Erin say also, this is just like a blink of an eye. Life is really like this, really. And if you have had someone, a beloved one who passed, I'm sure that when you were there and that person was leaving the body, at some point you really meditate or thought, or you have had this thought of, oh my God, I really thought that this person was gonna stay here forever, and it's not. We are not here forever, and this is not to make us be like in any sort of sad. The contrary, it's just to enjoy. That's why I'm mentioning all of this. It's not to be afraid of that moment of, to me now, rebirth. Or change of state, like, because for a long time I've been suffering what my mom's had to go through and all of that, and now she's in my best moments of the quantum sessions, and she's interfering, and other people who have the ability to see the I don't have this ability to see the souls here or anywhere. I feel them. I feel that their presence, but I don't see them. But I come across with some people who see them, and I say, wow, it's so amazing. Now the mom is still here and all of that. So yeah, things keep going, and it can keep going in things that you can get really emotional, because they might, after they leave the body, be with you also and support you in whatever mission we have on earth. Because as we were saying, Erin and I, the other day in a chit chat, we have many multiple missions. It's not only one. We are here to touch so many things in different angles, in different levels, and so many different hearts, and do the things from the most simple point to the most complex, mind-blowing way, and sometimes things that we don't even know that exist just yet, or we don't remember. So yes, the mentioning that we have a time limitation of death there is not to create that sort of carpe diem attitude that many people started having at some point during the 80s or during which it was good. Obviously, we learned a lot from it and all of that, but it's more about enjoying life with everything, really, with every single ingredient of it, and learn how to appreciate that. Even days that they might not feel like the best days of your life, they have something to tell you. They have something that maybe not that day, but the next day makes a spark in your day, or create an spark in your day, or creates a conversation with a brother or a sister that triggers something that is amazing. And so, yes, nowadays with these powerful energies, this is coming more to the surface, and we have the opportunity to appreciate much more all of this. Sorry, I took that long for saying something so simple, but yeah, this is the way. This is the Spanish style. So yeah, but whenever you like, Kelly. Natusha, yeah.
Bashi hoto de asia haki katakoto katakati tikatokoto ashi hato tore asha here. Do hasha hua chia chio koto chia. Da shio kotaria tuta shi he. Da ha koto to da shaki ha to da shi ha. Bashi koto kariati. Do shi ha tore asha tira kotore ha shaki ho taria shi. Mo ha shaki. Do shaku hashia ha tu da shia kotayo toria sha mashukotoria sha kia toka da shia ti bashia to da shia kotaria taria toria tari da do toria sa ti da do shikata kotoka da kata kotoka kata 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 kotoka kata kata kotoka kata 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 kotoka kata 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 kotoka shikata ti to kotoka kata 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 koto bashina moshia kia da kyo to de asha bashe to de ata basho hoshia tira kotoria shia ka baya to de ashaki
Thank you, love. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, what I felt from them is, once again, they bring in that joy that they always want to bring. And for some reason, I got messages like when you use your light languages, for the people here in the group or anyone who might be listening to this video, watching this video, to start using them also to facilitate the channeling. I know that Elle does it already a lot. Brother Wesley naturally does it also from time to time when he wants to explain something and he gets stuck with something. He used the light languages and suddenly he starts flowing again. Yeah, they are like trying to tell us that we, the channelers, we can use them for that. We can use them more and more and use this massive wave of energy that we are receiving nowadays to fuse all together the channeling of the light languages, but also activate your hearts and let the messages come through. No matter how weird these messages might also sound when you feel them in your hearts. Just say them, express them, and let's see what happens. The magic will happen, especially if you are gathering like in a group like where other people have these abilities and things like that. But you can bring that more and more to your friends, to your family, and all of that. So I was getting that is something that came through also in a quantum healing session I had yesterday, also from the elementals, and they were just like telling this message like out of fun. It's like use these abilities that you have to try to channel light languages to bring messages also. They are here for that also. The light languages are not only to be projected as light languages, also to heal ourselves, but also to facilitate the messages that we can bring to Earth when we find difficulties to connect with one entity or with another. So we can make use of them a lot. And I know that Elle has been doing this for a while. But yes, they keep reminding that.
What that transmission pretty much was a lot of key codes that are going in the spine and in our structures right now, and just everything is falling into place. Everything is exactly where it's going, and also just to allow yourself that time of integration consistently, because there's so much energy coming in. So like there's just so much that we're going through, just that allowing of integration, if that is a nap during the day or just a coffee, where you actually just take that break and just go, I'm integrating this energy to have a new perception, because even the perceptions are changing so quickly right now. It can be like a moody energy if you look too far into it.
In the channeling, because you weren't here at that time, the message was saying, instead of staying like this, use them, integrate them, and make use of them. So it has a lot to do with what you're saying. Is use them, and a way of integrating is like that. You can use them for channeling or to play instruments, like we were talking. Use the instruments that you feel a call or attracted to, or you can use it for the crystals, or you can use it to send it and project it to Mother Earth. If you are bored, do something with that energy instead of staying like this and saying, oh my God, I'm really getting roasted. I'm getting roasted here. It's like a lot of people are waiting still for a Messiah. They are still waiting for things like that to happen, for miracles to happen. And they don't realize that they are the miracle. They are the miracle playing with this energy. We are the alchemist playing with this. And we need to, that's why it's being provided, so that we can, malleable, no? The energy is malleable. So we can, as alchemists and magicians, we can use that energy to send it. It's like, the cartoons, the Marvel movies, like all of this has been there to give us some activation or something that we could do in the past. Like, and so, is it only with your hands, okay? Well, if your hands start feeling like moving, move your hands. Or if you feel like dancing, dance. But use it. Don't stay there stuck like saying, this is too much, this is too much, this is too much. And then I'm going to complain in Facebook that I'm suffering, and all this is crap and all this and that. No, use really. Oh, you can do so many things. Go to the park, play with children, do things, but you can use for your own healing. That we are in some aspects of ourselves also going through those moments where everything comes to the surface from the past, and we still have these little wounds to heal. So yeah, that's why this aid is there. It's actually an aid. It's just the way we, like you are saying, El, it's the way you perceive that. If you perceive it like in a negative way, that's gonna be negative. But if you really open your hearts and your sensitivity and your creativity, you can make incredible things with these things. And that's why we are going to be provided with more and more and more of this energy, so that we can use it and do more magic things. So yeah, it's source manifesting, source coming into nature. And so I'm providing us this wonderful human experience that is becoming every day more and more exciting. And new and mind-blowing, really, with even talking with brothers and sisters, that we are discovering things. And why we are discovering these things, well, why we are feeling so full of energy or clairvoyant, let's say, no? It's like clarity is coming. It's coming a lot of clarity about our past lifetimes, about all these things. Well, why they are coming? Well, because these massive energies, they have information as well. And this information, those who are willing, all of you can do it. You are willing. You have to be willing to embrace that. You have to be willing to change also. You have to be willing to take a new direction also, because many of us, as we were mentioning, we are taking new directions, and that's why we might have a knee injured like I had last week or something. Just something was telling me you don't have to take that direction. And a lot of brothers and sisters, they're having issues with feet and ankles and knees and things like that, because it's a moment of change. And to me, the number 5 represents change, a lot of change. And we are in May. Just another thing from nature. We take things more like a natural thing, more than what is going on. Is this the apocalypse? No, it's not the apocalypse. There's so much things to have fun with, and a lot. But meet with people that you feel that frequency similar to yours, or just because you're feeling a call to talk to someone that you might find for some reason calling your attention. That there is always a reason behind your feeling attracted to someone. Shianaku hatina taishana, and don't fear. Katiana kiuma taika, trust tikan tumas it iumakatana. Isini tekiano to santakiti. Yeah, it's moments to embrace that trust, with all the power and strength and courage, so that we can give that opportunity to the new experiences to unfold. And that is gonna happen more and more and more and more. And we've been all waiting for these exciting moments. So let them happen. Yeah, okay. Who else wants to say something? I finished, teachers.
It's funny that the teenagehood is coming up as almost like a bit of a theme, because earlier today I was working with my inner teenager as well. So very funny that we're bringing this up. But at the beginning of this, our little meetup here before we pressed record, we were talking about being teenagers and just how different we were, but also how we don't have any regrets about it too. Like, and just kind of what we go through, maybe even as star seeds in this awakening. I think a lot of us miss that higher vibration, and we tend to do things as teenagers that express that in a way because we're searching for the energy that we're missing and on some level. And then it's funny because in one moment I was speaking about being this teenager that was a little bit reckless, and then in the next moment my daughter comes in and sits on my lap, and here I'm a mother. So it was really funny to show the two sides, but also so important to share because we're all human, right? We're all human, and we've done this journey. So
actually, in that chit chat we had, Erin and I, we spoke a lot about that process. Like we talked today also. It feels like a continuation, and this is feeling more like that. Even if you meet with a person in a different day, and even if it's a different person, I'm starting to feel that they are continuations of something, of something that is unfolding. It can be meeting with another brother and with another sister, and it's like we continue where we left it with the other sister and brother, and that is really creating something. Something is coming out from there that in the beginning you don't see it. And that's why it's so important that we let all these shy parts of ourselves to be exposed, like you were saying. Look, Ismael, I don't mind to really show that, because that's what made me the person that I am here today, and that people can see. And obviously all those experiences will show something very basic that to all humanity, that we are humans. Because still there is this idealism that if you have an ability or a gift activated, they still have these images of Jesus or Maria Magdalene or other masters that we have had along the human history, or people connecting to other galactic beings that they have some sort of skills. And there is still a lot of idealization about certain people in the world, and about masters like Jesus or Mahatma Gandhi. They were incredible human beings. They were incredible human beings, very advanced, very evolved. That didn't make them any different to us. And still, society is too detached, is too much detached from. They see Jesus still like something that you cannot achieve, or like something that you cannot approach in your own life. And I'm receiving more and more channeling that the light workers, we should bring that human part of ourselves, so that we can show to people that this happens to anyone, really, if you allow it, if you let it happen. And this is not about us being more special than you. No, it's you are special as well, brother. You are special as well, sister. You are special as well, child, teenager, any person in any different age. And every age has a special moment and a special transformation and a special experience. So it's important to also bring that part of ourselves that show to everyone that we are not any different. We are like everybody else, and so that they can truly start believing in themselves, that they can join the happiness that we also enjoy in our lives. And that doesn't mean, guys who are watching the video, that in our lives we don't have roller coaster moments. We all have roller coaster moments. I know a little bit these brothers and sisters from this lifetime and from other lifetimes. And when we share a private message, we have also our moments of roller coasters, and moments that I say, I need some help. And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That doesn't make you less of a light worker. Doesn't make you any less of anything, really. It is actually making yourself who you are, really, and give recognition that we are all here, a collective human race, really. And that's what we, in order to reach that level where we all recognize each other as one, we need to perceive also each other as one. And the way to perceive each other as one is by communicating that we all have these human things all together, and that there is no shame on sharing them or being like that. It's so simple, but we have been struggling for few millennia. But well, this is the time, and this is why also these massive energies are coming to Earth, so that we use them and we have fun and we play and we share them and we show this all dark and light part of ourselves, and these are okay. There is no mistake, really. We are not a mistake in nature. We are wonderful beings, really. Too much guilt still in our shoulders or in the shoulders of society, and maybe we can do this activation or cleansing of guilt in the whole humanity, if you feel like doing it and joining me. Because often this is what keep us from doing the opening or from flowing naturally. I just felt Brother Wesley for a moment that he was already there. So let's. Do you want to do that one first? Like the first one? Kakuanate. Thank you. Kanutia. Umatsawama is subasa o kisa nata umahanat umakasin sa sama jiko anak. Anis umamakahutana su umashu makinichiana kawa. Chesawata antakopa isineki umatsasa neki ka. Sawaka. Sisaka nata kumasata.
Doya sakati todoria tatia moshia tire kototia satia tatia taria totia sakia tata moshia kia tatia tia rokototia tataria sa.
Sene aku masa weme sawan aeha kwanti ineki masa na kuma tatia na kawamata sana la kumasa wapa. Enaka na matani na kawana taima kala nika hwata na katiniku wa matatiku. Nakuata. Tisa naku masita la. Nasa wapa kakwata. Tisa mama tisa pakwa. Tinikia kwata.
Bosana mashia kotoria sahi. Do katana mashia kotoria saki. Do tana mashia da kotoria tira mashia taria tor sana mashaku. Ase kotoria tara kataria toda ramashieti. Doria sana mashia koria sa.
Nasa wasin mak as uikahat lak uhuak sine omaka.
Kaye kotanoye ketanaye koye tikata koye nakti tikata kaye kototoye tanatai.
Takwana tasumaka hontaitia nakutia.
Da saraka todo shieti kotoria.
Natusia nakuta shantia katia.
Dorsha gata koto sheri moshia kia toda moshia tira de gororo shietu. Basana moshia kotariata.
Hania sawatia na kahwana tai sawana kaoma anea hatia na kumatsati ala kumatasatia. Aso sawatamanik isione satia na kumatia. Nana mais masa na kusa shawata kawatia na tayata.
Yasa tatua takani akaua sakane akua. Awasai akua taua.
Shawaina makufuata.
Namo Shiryato Shikadana Moshiatariato Tariatariata Toriata.
Mayakia wia kua sakati ataua.
Nanaku hatia na weneki uma.
Oshayo Sunamasho.
Ai akua sa wataya. Basua taya kati.
Tia kuaka tanoachu kuo kuasa huataka. Shana kuata
Kuasata.
sawata. Funikia. Sono
Sayata
agocha
uata. Mbaya
chawa
kuata.
ua takuwa naka. Utanakumaka hotaka. Sheka wa papata upaka inanuana ataua. Shaka kuma eshumba papa koha taika kukua katuma tachua kawa. O gaina kumata takumata cha. Gana kumata. Shinikiana.
Kuasata nuyata. Kia kaua sakunaka. Kia wata iwa suna maya wakaku.
E makua hatina kuhoto shaana uha asu koko tiara kat an hena kua as uku o ka uklua kakutia shakwantaka shawapata.
Kaya tata kuta katika tu kata kana kiwaya tua hayata.
Anakwata.
Yale toto te a toto e se tu te a kia toto to e se toto e se tu ta o te su ta o e se koto te to ka ta ka se ka to ka ta ka ta ka to ka ta ka se ka to 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 ka ta ka ta ka se ka to ka ta ka to ka to ka ta ka to ka to ka.
Diaba papa ishuka ha hushana waka hati kakwate nakatata ishuku tutushu patakai kupakatu matakitea. Ay na aishi kawadi na kututushu mama machasha takatu.
Papa patu ya ketua mbak ya kata.
Amabara pessoa. Nakua tau ka shukua.
Kia tata
Mana sawaka wata
patata kuta daya tatututu patatata nata nini weta maya wata masakuta kana yuya kua kua ya tata uasa mbata mbaya ta kua Maya kuata Maya toa katsua ki akua te ia wasu yata.
Tawai. Tisia nakua maasa wati kiana. Tiseneki sun tumu matsu
Ai
seneki
shia
otan.
satana ikoye titena ye koya nataka.
Tui watua. Asu wata. Mayata kuata. Kunata kiawa tua. Taiyoko. Kuasaya wata wa. Ayatua. Ayawata kuata. Ayokota kona kuya kuasuka. Ayawata wa. Oya saya kawatan waya. Nia ya kuya tua. Awasa kiawa. Nia ya tua. Mbakua. Kusuayata.
Nakawata wakanawina kwatanaima.
Watata kuna.
Ai tekana ye kototo
Miana
nakaya
wayana
kotai.
mai, shia mai.
Nakaye kotana ye kai 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 kokoya kai kai kai
Ya
kai
satu watak ya kota.
kai 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 kai
Kasaku takataki ki yakuna katua. Shishiwayataha.
Wata watiana mau matutuku taikika
Mata
tuka
tatuna
kawakai titikia
tayakuayataka hawata.
utoyo waka.
Suki yakua takua sai watani yakanu.
Tita wa tintia te an awai nikibu babaike.
Nata.
Shawata
Nata osa
waisiake.
kia kuataka na kia tua taya. Husuka ia kua taya mba. Yata tata tutututuataha. Tayata kota.
Tayong dulce tu kia to ki.
Tumantai kumpatai suku kukuntai neketia tatutai kia kakuntai tikiana.
Masata kuatata koni yakuata.
Ya doe se ya tai ki ma ya tai ya doshi tu ya tai la tu sa kuto ya
Wata suatata kuyata kuna kayawa. Awata iwayata.
Takuta tai kakumakata titikia tatitia tai tu tai.
Payata tua. Kawasama. Suata. Kiwata.
Sakwanta
Kinaka.
matai
Kawa.
kitintia tau tai
Awata.
titintintia kukun tai tututu
Niyaka
tututu
kota.
tai tita tai 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 tai
Suata. Oasata. Sakiata. Satu watataku ayawa sawoyata. Yoyata tuoyata kuoyata. Ku wasiya mbakuwata. Kiyoyata. Masuata. 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 Suata sayaka wayata. Bayata kuta kuta ta kunata kiawasa ta wata ayata bayata suatata o kana kiawayata awayasa wa baya saya baya iya kuata bata kusa tana
Umaka wa sakwa.
Nakaye koye natakaye koye
Ushua mas.
nitakaye.
Aneku kana shumaka takuatika hokua kataneki hote.
Nia tuiata, lasi ueaka, kua kioko
Ye te
noa.
tanaya kaya kaya
Takuha
koyan
hanoku
kaya
ahatikawa.
koyan
Nda wata
kaya
yukatawa. Wata kiawata.
kaya
Sukanania wata. Baku wata iya.
Ay, Dios mío.
Wakati yaku yataku tatatui tatadi waya tua yakawasaka niya. Mbakuata. Kia wayata. Kuasayata nua. Mbakiawa.
Nada más.
ye te tananaye
Chushao
ye
más.
tananaye
Adios, tayo.
akaya ko taye te tananaye ko
Awenitia kutaya kosa.
Masakuata.
Pero
Kia wayata. Masa oyata. Kia wayata tuata.
Lauto eshakuto eshakuto
ye
Awa.
eshakuto
Mba.
yusuto eshakuto
Sawa yata kuata.
Sakawaka tatamako maso
Kiawata ta
masiama kumaka
taiwata
chumacha
kuata awa mbayata. Kiana kuata kua. Kusata mbeya kua. Akua. Kiwasa. Aku ka tapi ka kanaka.
Watawati anawahiti anakumasu machacho sana ishasha. Mama bayu machasa fata
Asata tawata. Huayata kiwata kuatana. Nanana niyawa amba yakatua. Kia toko na kia waiata. O asai wata na iata. Awata.
tananaye ko te yananataye te shiatataye ko naye ko ye te tanaye naye te tananaye ko ye te ne ye te taye tanaye to yishi
Mama
Tianaku
masakua.
sawaya kawa.
Taye te tanaye shi te tanaye tataye katatanaye
Iwayata tonoa suka tiya wata. Suwayata. Bayakua. Bakiwata. Tiwaya satu ayata.
taye tananaye takaye tanakaye koye shi tataye
Iyata.
taye shi taye koye nanataye
Uwasata.
tataye
Uwatayakata.
tanaye koye
Iyatata
nanataye
uwasata.
takaye
Siyawata.
koye koye
Owata.
nataye koye
Kiyawayata.
nataye koye nataye
Awasawayata
koye
uwata.
nataye
Kiyoyata Wayata Sayata Sa Suna Yato Wata Uwaka Kuwayata Iyakatana Uwayawa Awatana Wayata Kiyoyata Wasa Suwata Wasa Yawa Yoyata Oasa Kiyowa Niyoyata Kuwasa Aya Anueta Iyoyata Maya Koyata Kuwasa Mayaka Baya Naya Sawata Kuwataya Kana Kuwataya Bayata Nayata Wata Suwayata Suyawata Wata Sawata Navayata Wata Kiwayata Kiwayata Wata Kiwayata Wata Bata Kwa Kiwayata Iwayata Huasa Suwayata Kuwata Uwayata Owa Yawa Suyawa Shia Taya Nawa Sakowa Mayata Ayawa Sakua Tawa Yakowa Sakona Tawa Ayawa Suta Nakua
To Mahatayuma Soanka Wakatai Sentawama Josa Guantayes
Siwayat Kiyoka Tukana Naiwayata Owasa Nawa
Nekawa
Eya
Hataichana
Owa Eneya
Maneki
Wasa
Wamat
Wasa Niki
Stanuanas
Nawa Namas Nasa
Stiana
Kuata Mayata
Eniamakum Sawaka
Owa
Seyawaka
Ewa Sakuataya Nakawatana Kuwakaya Wasa Waya
Chawatayana
Naiyaka Basuka Yesiwatawa Yawa Kayakawa Sayuwa Awata Unata Waya Sata Uiwa Suka Toa Baya Payata Dua
Tasawa Nisham Quintana Puitana
Nikai Kiyaka Kuna Kia Tata Wayaka
Naguan Paiguas Awantisana
Namasu
Sishawata
Namasuka Niki Kikuwayakawa
Untawakana Usana Shishuan Taina Nakaya
Payasa Tuya Waya Tawaya Watakuwa Kiwa Osua Niwayawa
Oasawakana
Patia.
Tasawa.
Oh ya tua kako nue ya tiwa. Awasatua tio kono mayata.
Paisa mas was iwak akwot ik wat ikwak and ik yokwot os uchauk on taik okwak.
Oti sat sit sanut sakuti kata kutani ia o asa ioni wa atua miwaka tiwa asua.
Akwak ikwatak ante okwak and es ukwak asakwant ayakawan iukwak. Baya bagia yupasuaka.
Batiokota. Shuta. Wasata wayata tuatata kuatata naiata wasata wayata wasawata kiwa
Waka
wasa
waka.
tuatiwa
Toma kahuta.
wata
Sana wakana.
tata wasa
Shawadao.
nayata awa ayasa
Ora masawa. Nakumasa mususushunu kumasa natamagata kumasa nakasuna nakamasuno to nekisina nakanasa masa nakusiniki so tanikina kumasa nakusiniki kusono tostia nakuma desawa nasinaka taniku.
Kiwasa wata kumbati katawa kumbati katato kunoko nayati yata kuyuto oyata osa bayata kotata kunni iwe suakayata yakota
Mia guarda qua, diamo ma chi siamo? Te andava Inama huarana kasiana rakus.
Wasa kiwasa kiata kuata kuashia
Senia
katua
kuata kana.
nea masia wata kua kia
Waka wata.
kiashia ya wayata
Shua kuata no kuata.
kawasa kuna ya wayata ya wasa wa na maya kawata wata
Aim papaisu. Sharana satnaraku.
Esto yana taye
wawasa kuata na
Takahan. Yukuhan akahan tikio.
Tatuwata yata wasa sawayata
Chuchu sushushu makata.
takawasa iwa tayawa takuwa wasata yapa piyata wata kiyatana ayuwata wasa mama mia saneya wata wata kiyata wasa iwata iwa iwa
Sunakana kumatina kumasanto maisio makanto tatakum tatano
wasa
matayuma.
Saya koshai ya koshai Monakai soto watau sai sawai si sukush
Ana wasti sakwakana tigon sahotikiana
Mahai
mahatatin
tapaye
takwahate.
takaye kotanahai
Sohana humasahiti kwahana
Mahai
tuhumatatakin na pohumatakatahin.
Mahai tatahaye kotanaye
Hunatawata na
Mahai
kumasahotatikia
tohoi
hatatikia.
tanana Mahai kataye
Honatahia na huntikia.
Mahai katanaye
Ishawan dayi.
Sakushai sukushai
Wow, wow. No words to describe. Once again, we're gonna be called the Collective Healing Intentions Orchestra.
I love the singing together. It was so fun.
Yeah, we somehow we knew how to connect with each other. Somehow we knew once again what is next. Amazing. Also languages, new languages that they were coming through.
Yeah.
Something I found also very funny is when Luis was doing.
Hi, you're on YouTube.
Hello. So yeah, there was a moment that Luis was doing light languages, and someone from his relative mentioned, "What are you doing?" or something like that. Or that's what I understood. I don't know if even if they say that, but I just found it like imagining myself that a relative of mine come behind and say, what are you doing? It's like, no, in my family they wouldn't understand that.
Yeah.
This that we do. They will be really like shocked and reluctant to admit that this member of the family is doing weird things with other people in the camera.
I can relate to that as well with my family. Yeah.
Yeah. This is really something intimate at the end of the day for me.
And that's why we're such nice family members for each other, like part of the same soul family, because we're comfortable enough to get together and share this way. And that's why this group, Ismail, is so important too, for anyone who's really waking up their voice, right? Because how many people would be too shy to share with their family when, so anyway, it's just so important for us to be together.
True. And it's also every time is also, we are also putting these blocks aside. It's like we are opening up even more, no? To feel less shy in singing, in playing instruments and all of that, and that all together helps us together and everyone really listening to this, and it's so beautiful. It's really freeing stuff. I feel really free after the transmission.
Yeah. I felt a big release from the one side of my neck. It was kind of like my muscles were hurting, but I felt a big, like it got really tight and then it released and then my voice came out. I was like, wow. So we've definitely moved energy. Yeah. Personally, I experienced it. Yeah.
We've been removing a lot of tension from all the neck, all the shoulders, the back, also the chest. So that we can express more, all of us humans, better and without. The mind is often interfering, but also we have in the way I feel the muscles are like. I understand them like for some reason, and correct me if I'm wrong, Wesley, because that's something I wanted to talk with you at some point. Is because recently we spoke about something similar, and when Wesley and I recently we wanted to do more sport than what we were doing, something stopped us from keep going and increasing the amount of sport, and somehow I feel like if you increase the amount of muscle, the muscles are storing information and storing things inside. And the more muscles you have, the more you store things, or the more these things comes up or block or things like that. And that's something I'm not really sure. It's something I'm finding out in myself, that sometimes my higher self or my guides, they tell me, no, don't go in that direction. I know that you want to start running longer distances and do marathons and things like that, but they don't let me. Somehow it's like they don't let me because it's out of the rail of what I should be doing. And it has something to do with gathering memory and increasing. Is it, brother?
Well,
does it resonate with you? Because I really wanted to have this question there, like
before 2011, I was a competitive runner, so I was running 70 miles a week, and I was doing I was around Toronto on like basically a track bicycle, like basically using the velodrome, but I was just basically using it to increase my inner capacity. So I had a resting 34 beat heart rate, and like I was super competitive. Like when I was landing, there was an interview with me in Toronto for basically, it was beer my races actually, but I like I was drinking 4 beers and running a mile in 7 minutes. I was averaging 5-minute miling, like. But it just stopped. Basically, it was like I was less competitive when I was waking. I kind of less competitive before I was competitive. I was never really like wanting to. It wasn't about anyone else. It was just being competitive with myself. So I was always racing to do with myself. It wasn't really to do with it, but I just became naturally competitive. But I did notice my body was starting to and I wasn't really to it even with the age. It could just happen like that. It happened with my awakening, really. And I even noticed myself, even because my job's super physical, I have to really do energy work to try and compensate for the job that I do. And it's all cellular. So like I could be lifting, I could be lifting like heavy weights all day. And I would basically have to kind of inject light. So I have to basically I'm constantly releasing stuff, because it's like it's so dense. So like I have to be like I'm so rigid.
It's in the line with that, brother.
Yeah.
It's in the line with that. It's like if more muscle mass grows, it's like it stopped me from being so light and unable to channel. And that's why they stopped me from going bigger.
So that makes sense that it would make you more dense, but also like there was one thought that came through that thought, well, wait a minute, doesn't exercise help release energy? But then I got right when Wesley was speaking, it was all about the type of exercise that is needed is more like the stretching. And because that releases the tension, right? And so it is still about being in the body, but it's about kind of tuning in and releasing rather than building this. I feel it. I feel I feel the message.
Totally.
So my experience is like we're in a spectrum of reality, but I can get caught up in that reality from the choice that I make. So my job is super, I would just say it's super physical, super physical, but you have to be super aware as well. So I'm to be honest, and I can get caught up in certain stuff, but if I'm not aware of it, the capacity that I put on my body should be broken up. I should be broken up. And so some people, like I was having one conversation with a guy during the week, and he's broken up. A lot of guys are broken up. And they say, like, sometimes they think I'm younger than what I am, and I'm not, like. And they say, how do you do this or how do you do that? And to be honest, I have to stretch. I have to stretch because the body will start will start going, and the muscles. I feel it now, especially since I'm back in Ireland, because it's more physical than what it is in Canada. The work I do over here, but I have to. I start just bringing in the light. I just start bringing in the light, but it just starts basically the muscles. It starts releasing them all. So it just starts. It's like a massage. It's like a massage. So it starts working through the fibers. So it starts breaking up all the densities. So it starts coming in and starts working its way inside out, and it starts breaking up all the knots. So all the knots, like it's like it'd be like a vehicle, like a car that's been overused. It'll start wearing down. But the thing is, with me then as well, I suppose I'd be kind of told to like just a lot of time I'd be pushed out of the job anyway. But I do start. I work a lot with energy. Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't know what I would be like if I didn't work with what I'm working with. So, if that answers the question, yeah.
Yeah.
And the muscle,
all together.
I think the muscle thing, like personally, I think the muscle thing could be fine. You could, if you wanted, you could work on it. But I would say it would be working it on like not putting too much pressure. So I would say, because I think if you overstress the body, I think that's when it starts reacting. Yeah, that's my experience anyway. So,
makes sense a lot now. Yeah.
And what I even noticed is from myself being involved from being a boxer, being a kickboxer, doing martial arts, not doing it for 15, 16 years, I'm way more fluid now. Actually, even when I come across opponents, I fall into martial arts. And I'm not bragging, but I've went up against masters and I put them in hoops, and it's not from training. It's all spiritual. So it's just been, it's accessing information and then it's transferred into this octave, which you become more fluid. So it's become more fluid with the whole field. And then it's not like, so when I would do it, I wouldn't be doing it to want to disintegrate the opponent, but it's kind of doing it in more of a dance. But so when I would work with that, it wouldn't be like big, huge muscle, like it doesn't matter what size it is. Like it doesn't matter if it's 6'6" to whatever, and it doesn't matter if someone's huge. It's just you're working with the field. So you're kind of, those wave bands of, so opponent's going to come at you a certain way, you're going to step back and you're kind of counter. It's like a dance. So, and actually, I used to find that actually, the more muscle I had, it's grand for being impactful, but you become more fluid if there's not too much muscle. That's my experience.
So is the importance of combining flexibility, no?
Elasticity. Yeah, and the cells. See, from my experience again, it's spirit encapsulated within the body. So when the cells are working at optimal level, so they're able to just cruise through this field, like. So it's it's not caught up in the density. So it's just, and some used to say, being in the world but not of the world. So you're just cruising through it. So you're not getting caught up in it.
Somewhere like in the middle, no? Where you can
in the middle, yeah, you're able to navigate.
Like
and then you're and then I suppose within that point positioning, you're balancing the masculine and feminine. You're seeing the two sides of the anchoring point.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no.
Because been going through that.
I go through that all the time myself too. I always go through it. Like I'm not running now, and I feel called to run, but I'm not running. I can't run. So
they don't let me. They don't let me. Every time I start training again, they stop me somehow with something. Something comes up. Or more work, or more sessions, or something physical as an injury, or something happens, and it's like, because there is a part of me that wants to do it, wants to come back to that it's also teenager memory. It's a teenager memory where I used to go everywhere running. If I was going to the local shop, I was going running. If I was going to the center, I was running. And running didn't feel like...
Sure.
Yeah, it felt nice.
Natural.
It felt like freedom.
Yeah.
It feels like freedom. There is a part of me that want to recreate that, the feeling of not feeling limitation when in distances. And there is a part of something happening saying, no, not now.
Yeah, I'm the same. And bikes as well, I'd be like, I was a total bicycle nerd. And same with bikes. I don't feel like I get up and I'm like, all right, I'll go for a cycle. But then I just don't, it's just not, I'm not meant to get up on a bike. So
in the bike they let me do it. In the bike they do let me always the bike, but for some reason the running no. Well, maybe
I wanted to say because I don't exercise all that much, but I do stay in my body and I stretch. But this winter it was very clear about what I needed to be doing to heal myself, and this isn't for everyone, but it definitely worked for me. But I was doing those cold baths, cold dips, and it's a big fad. Like people do breathing, breath work, and then they get in the cold. But for me, I was dealing with trauma that was coming up, and getting in the cold was the best release I could possibly ask for. So I would be feeling all this tightness in my chest and in my throat, and like it was definitely trauma. Like I know what it was from. And the best medicine was getting in these cold ice baths. And I know it's not for everyone, but that was a way that I could release, but I wasn't doing heavy physical exercise. And it would like boost my heart rate and my immune system and my circulation and my lymph system, and everything just kind of fell into place after doing these ice baths. So that was my medicine this winter, and I was doing it naturally because it's Canada and we get cold. So now I'm out of a big deep freeze, so I won't be doing it all summer, but I'm gonna be doing it again in the winter time, because like in under 10 minutes it feels like you ran a marathon, but you didn't. You know what I mean? Like it really is a big release, and I slept like a baby. Like I had the best night's sleeps ever. So that was just physical body, but releasing things that were deep within my tissue and everything.
So it does work.
It worked. Honestly, it felt so good that I kept doing it, right? Like it wasn't like yes, the cold is unpleasant, but the benefits were so much that it was amazing.
It's like when you are fasting, no? When you're fasting, it feels like weird to do it, and then the benefits afterwards are amazing. So when you say, why I didn't do that before?
Yeah, and like floods of oxytocin, like you would just feel so good, so alive. Actually, that feeling of being alive is because that's what we're all kind of.
We want that, of course. We want to come back to that.
Yeah, and that's when you said teenager. So I was like, yeah, well, these cold dips really made me feel awake.
That's why we were talking.
Body goes into huge shock too. Like your body goes into huge shock too. Yep. So it shuts down, and then it shuts. You bring it back up again.
So,
it's like a reset, isn't it?
Yeah. It was a reset, and you want to know what else? Because you're in the cold, when you get out, in order to warm up again, all of your blood has to come back to heart center and circulate, and that means everything from your extremities gets reset. Like it gets reoxygenated, because all the blood in your toes, if they want to get warmed up again, it's going to have to come back to your heart and then circulate. So think about that as healing. Like it's a great way to get everything from your extremities back and circulating the oxygen, and whoosh, yeah.
It reminds me of, actually, there's a lady I know. She's kind of into the old ways here, the old Celtic ways. But she used to be talking about the weird sweat lodges here thousands of years ago. With the First Nations, we had certain traditions here. But actually, which is very interesting, because they do it. What they used to use is actually another one was go into nettles. They used to go into nettles.
Yes.
They walk into nettles, Well, what it's supposed to be doing is the body goes into a bit of a fight, and it's just a detoxification. And I was like going, first I was like, that's mad. I was like, are you serious? Yeah, you're going
It's like
to
jumping
no
in a
way.
cactus, no?
Yeah,
Like jumping.
but the healing
like in the
benefits are supposed to be crazy. I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
I find that a little bit crazy. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, it's mad.
You tried it, brother. Have you tried that?
I haven't.
Let us know what you do.
Yeah.
My God.
I have thought of it. Right? It's like, you know what, that might be interesting, because I got a couple of I didn't get a stings, but I went in through nettles Saturday, and that's the first thing I thought of, because it's all memory. Like, you know, someone tells you something, then something happens, and it was up. It's like going, that's what they're talking about, but I didn't feel any pain from it. But you know, either way, because if you go in through it, you don't feel it. And but then if you notice it, you're like, oh, I'm getting stoned. But if you're going through it, you don't really feel it. No, it doesn't happen all the time, but it didn't. But I was just curious when I kind of noticed that, like.
Yeah.
But the thing is that with the nettles in the beginning, it's like you don't feel it, but afterwards it starts stinging a lot. It's like, what?
Yeah. And the full body, like, imagine the full body.
Imagine, yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like wanting to come out from the body, really.
I know the cells be like, oh, what is going on here? This is a huge. We are in a war. We are in a war. We are in a war. They're all fighting with each other. Yeah.
I find also the cold thing for someone coming from south is really also very challenging. To me, that thing with the bath, cold bath, for me is like
the last thing you want to do.
Yeah. We like warm beaches, we like heat and all of that. I grew up like that as a child. And then, wow, that will be also a big challenge for me.
I got so good at it. So it's a lot of it is mind over matter. And I live in a city, and my parents actually live further north. They live 18 hours in northern Ontario, and it goes down to -40, -50 degrees Celsius. And so I went up to visit them, and I thought I was a pro. So I showed them how I could do it up there in the same weather. And my mom and dad, they're like, you're crazy. And I'm like jumping in the snow and rolling, and they're like, you're crazy. And I'm like, it feels good. But yeah, to them, I was crazy too. My mom's like, well, you're braver than I am, because I don't want to do that at all.
Oh, even there. I can see my feet like getting blue.
You know,
necrotic.
It's crazy that you don't, though. Once you master it, you know how it's just everything is energy. Like once you master it, your feet don't get cold. It's weird. It's super weird. It's like a phenomenon. Like your feet just don't get cold. Like you don't get frostbite. Like my mom's freaking out. Like, you're gonna get frostbite, lose all your limbs. and it's amazing what our human body is capable of. I guess I'll leave that there, because our bodies are amazing.
Yeah. Sorry, Elle, I didn't mean to interrupt you before. What were you saying?
I'm Canadian, and I'm like you, Ishmael. I like I take like 20-minute hot showers every day, and I go in the sauna for an hour, no problem. The cold is opposite of what my being is, but sometimes, like, we've gone skinny dipping in the river here when I was a teenager and stuff here too, so I do get that feeling of aliveness when you jump in that cold water. So I think maybe this summer I'll definitely be swimming in the river, or at least jumping in. I will do it, I promise.
Quick in and quick out, because then you're like, I did it, you know, like, yeah.
It wakes you up though in a different way, doesn't it?
Yeah. You just brought that memory from, I used to do that in Spain, the rivers as well. Because where the rivers are really clean, in the top is really freezing. And I remember that. And if you are having fun, you are not thinking about that. But what Erin does, wow, it's like, wow, very, very much. Yeah, and I think is yeah, I've been 20 years now in UK, and there is no way I get used to the cold. No way. It's like always you put me 40 degrees, I can handle 40 degrees very easily. Just put me something like water somewhere, and I'm great. The Canary Islands are amazing, really. They are warm all year long. They are warm, and these beaches they don't have hotels or anything. They are wild, kilometers and miles and miles and miles of. Yeah, it's not touristic. I mean, there is tourism, but it's a tourism that respect nature because they are natural parks. So you can walk the whole islands and you don't see hotels or anything. It's just amazing, and I love. That's one of my favorite places where to go, and it's warm, always warm.
It's very warm. Yeah, it's amazing.
You've been as well, no, Wesley?
Yeah. I actually remember. I remember it was so hot.
Very wild.
That I was barefoot, and I could not stand in the street. I was actually trying to find grass. It was so hot. The street was so hot that I could, at first I was running around with tippy toes, and then it was so hot I was like, whoa! I started going, this is crazy. I started running up the side of walls actually, and I remember people who were selling stuff in the street, people from Africa, and they were like laughing. There's a couple of women that were like laughing, you crazy, and I'm like going, this is so hot, and it was like I was trying to find grass. It was like, where is there grass? So because I remember there's a gang of my friends who rented we had a Jeep, we had a Suzuki Jeep, and I was trying to find my way into the Suzuki Jeep, and I was just running from little bits of grass and little bits of wall, and I couldn't actually. My feet were melting. It was that hot, but it was lovely, though. It was lovely. It was like perfect weather.
Yeah, the weather is not too much, not too little. Yeah, obviously you are on the surface where the sun has been exposed, places where the sun has been exposed for a long time, and you don't have flip-flops. It's really like you need to find.
I know, it's funny. And
but we do walk like that because we want to do the grounding, and we just don't want to wear shoes, and because the place invites you to do that. It's so wild that you don't want to wear anything really. It's just
I didn't even know what grounding was back then, but it was lovely. It was a lovely place, actually.
Place.
Yeah, lovely place.
And it's not only one island. There's like 8 islands now. Another one has grown, and it's considered part of the whole collective, which is Atlantis actually. It's a place that is Atlantis. I did a session recently to a lady from India, and maybe it's better if I say this when we are not recording. I will say that part when I'm not recording. But yeah, it's actually we actually ask, and we received the confirmation that area there was part of the continent of Atlantis. That they were islands, really like a belt of islands around the earth, and this lady and I, we were healers, very well-known healers, and we were experimenting, let's say, too much with machines. And then I won't say more. I will tell you that more when I'm not recording, because we did something naughty. The session was very healing for her and for me, and the encounter again of meeting up again as we didn't know each other, and obviously that was a massive, powerful connection from Atlantis. And that's why I found out that those islands, they attract me so much. I didn't know before. I thought that was just because the beauty, the nature, the temperature, the people and all of that, but no, there is something also spiritual. And as soon as you come out from the plane, your soul free. It gets free. It's something. Is what people feel in Haiti, in Hawaii, and in all these places. That's why they go there. There is a lot of this that I'm mentioning. It's part of ancient memories and a lot of healing things that we feel when we step again on those places where we were living in the past, or some of us we were.
They just found a yellow brick road under the water in the north of Hawaii. So it looks like a cobblestone, but perfectly bricks under the water. Did you see that?
Oh, I saw your post. That was amazing, actually. Like I was like staring at those photos. Wow. Because The Wizard of Oz was a very esoteric movie, and then I'm thinking, what? Like, what is the connection here in the Emerald City? And I'm like, holy moly, there's something here.
That road leads us to truth, and it also returning home. You know, so it's a good find for a lot of us that follow those type of stories.
Yeah.
And I pray really to God that one day we build up something like a place where we can maybe live in community, or just on a spot. Maybe one of us we build it, maybe Erin build up one where she
we're going she all
is,
over the world.
and then we will create this community in these special spots where we can go and see each other and meet family, but not only meet family, but encounter with our energies. No, it's like wherever Erin is, we will feel complete in a way, being there with her and sharing with her. And then we go to the Canary Island, we feel complete in another way. And also all the memories come back, and we can practice maybe different types of healing that come from Atlantis.
This is it. When you say the different types of healing, what I'm picking up is that, you know, like the different areas on Earth heal us in different ways, right? So
totally.
Island vibrations and frequency has a certain healing property. And I'm obsessed with the Great Lakes in Canada. There's got to be something about the Great Lakes here, because they're huge and they're fresh water, and I just feel like they're like a big hidden secret. So I was called a few years ago to go and to every single Great Lake and really like speak light language to the water element and really just wake up those codes. But there's something really special about you know how there's sacred locations all over the world. In Canada, there's not very many known sacred locations, and I believe that they're just going to be waking up. Like there's a reason why. I don't know, it's just like it's a newer country, right? Canada's a new country, and I think that there's some beautiful sacred sites that are going to be waking up.
I'd say there is, though, and I'd say there is. I would say there is anyway, from what I noticed. But a lot of it actually the First Nations. So the First Nations of you know, they kind of, they would consider the whole lot sacred. I believe. And then there would be probably there'll be certain gathering points of them, you know, honoring.
When you think about it, like Toronto is a huge city, but it used to be like Toronto is a native word for the meeting place.
Toronto. And
they used to meet there. And then Niagara Falls, like think about Niagara Falls and how huge and powerful that is. So we just have to recognize that what you know, the energy is here.
And noticing one side of Niagara Falls and the other side of Niagara Falls, because it's like there's a split. There's a little bit of a split. Did you notice
that there's two sides to it?
Well, it's just the American side and the Canadian side. There's different energies. There's different energies. But then once you go over past the like, I see it a lot when I used to go over. Have you ever heard of Lilydale in New York?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's the first, supposed to be the first spiritualist church. But on the way to Lilydale, I remember like just noticing passing. It was Buffalo, but just noticing the changes of energy going through the states.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like sometimes it might be even the you know, one place to be like prospering, but then there's another place going through depression.
Yeah.
So it's interesting seeing, because it's all energy.
Yeah.
It's all energy just being played out.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
With the First Nations, so the First Nations, I'm not First Nation, but I would imagine from their thing is it was all sacred. So it's the water. So they are all about blessing the water, protecting the water, blessing the water, sacred water, because they would be aware that water is everything. It's connected to everything.
Yeah. It's the water.
Just one thing on the Great Lakes. It was probably about 6 years ago. They were talking about Lake Michigan, and people were finding it was coming up on shore. It was fresh lava rocks. So I think like volcano is in that lake, and I think like the Great Lakes in Canada have that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very cool. Yeah, and there was actually a new crystal that showed up on the shores of Lake Superior, and and these crystals are really, really unique because they look like regular rocks until you shine a UV light at them, and then they like light up, they glow. They almost look like extraterrestrial, like and they were discovered only a few years ago, and people go out at night with UV lights, and all of a sudden these certain minerals will just glow. So different crystal, different mineral properties, really cool stuff that we're just finding out now.
Yeah, and is it Thunder Bay? You've got the amethyst. You got a huge amount of amethyst.
So that's where I was born and raised, in that location. So that amethyst mine, I was there when I was a little tiny kid digging for amethyst. Like they have an open mine and you can go and dig. So I was there digging for amethyst, and it's actually that. It's called Oralite 23 because it has all those special minerals in it. So it's actually a very special type of amethyst. That's cool. There's something else special about Thunder Bay too. And I don't know if I can even speak about it yet, but it's a really special location when it comes to the ley lines of planet Earth and vortexes and stargates and stuff. So Thunder Bay is a really cool location. Very cool. And Terry Fox ran to Thunder Bay and he didn't make it any further, but I feel like he was a grid worker and he stopped in Thunder Bay, and it was because of his health that he stopped. But I really like, there's something more. I'm still trying to piece it all together, but I have a feeling.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Wait, was that the 80s? Was it 1980s?
And Terry Fox was in the 80s. Yeah. No,
it's interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like
it's they're all like they're all like I've met someone new last week, or no, I met her probably a couple of months ago, but we connected again last week. But yeah, just like as you said, Terry Fox, certain people be going on a mission, but it's similar to they're doing their part.
I swear, like, honestly, he ran on foot. Like, he had a mission. I honestly believe he was a grid worker who was pulling the codes from the East Coast over to Thunder Bay, like connecting the ley lines in some way, shape, and form. I'm not sure. But
I was at this gathering where over the weekend is where thousands of years ago, all the high kings and stuff used to meet. But it's I never even heard of it or until recently, 6 months ago. But it's supposed to be the heart center of the mall meeting. But anyway, I was one of the last ones. Like basically, it was I finished up like 2:00. I didn't get to bed at 2:00 the next day, but it was about we waited till the sunset, and I kind of landed on with a friend. She's very connected with the fairies, to be honest. So I landed on, and she was getting a lot of respect for the certain things she was doing. So I would know one or two, but I wouldn't know of them. But I just kind of showed my presence, but I didn't say much. I was just there, like, and there was one dude there, and I just knew he was kind of sussing me out, like. He was an older dude, like. But I could see he had a real strong connection. Like he goes way back, like lifetimes and lifetimes back. But I could see him sussing me out, so I said nothing. Like, But then that's what he talks about. He started talking about light codes. I was like, you know, all this new stuff. And he's asking me. I didn't say anything about light codes. I didn't say to him anything about anything. So he starts asking me my opinion or something. And I was kind of looking back. I was like, it's funny now you're asking me my opinion and stuff. But what was happening though is that's the whole thing. It's like there were certain things that were happening. Now I'm not saying I'm doing it because everyone's doing their part. Like, and then I just I just roll in and I just talk about I actually didn't really go too much into it. I didn't even want to say talk about light codes. I asked them, what do you think of light codes? What's light codes to you? Or little stuff, he's asking little stuff. So he's just I'm just basically not putting the awareness back into himself. If you understand that.
I do,
Instead of me saying,
getting them
I know
to
this.
Their own.
Yeah, exactly.
And you almost encourage them to. It's funny because I speak to my kids that way. I'm like, and what does that, and I'm like, and what does that mean to you? Or like, what does that, what do you think about that when you think about it from your heart? And then I get them to kind of explain it instead of me just, blah, 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 blah. All of these are facts. I want to know how, right? And so the same thing that would be perfect for someone who is expressing about light code.
Yeah,
right?
and exactly. And even for myself, it's like there's so much innate wisdom in the people here. Like even the people here, even me, I've been brought up here. I actually had a good conversation with a couple of ladies, actually older ladies from the Northern Ireland. And they were like, I was like saying, I don't know the huge amount of the history, but the thing is, when you're in it, you're just a part of it. But it's like listening to people's, like even that guy, there's so much wisdom too and certain stuff, and I just listening, like, so. But it's funny then when you kind of see when you see the different waves step into the pagan scene, like. So yeah, it's cool. It's very cool.
It's really cool. All of this is amazing, really, and I'm so lucky to be running these two groups, because when I meet you guys, you bring all this information from let's say the northern part of the world, and then on Fridays I get the information from the southern part of the world, from people from the side of Mexico, South America, even people who live in who has African origins, and when I put all together, it's like this is happening in this one, and it's happening in the other one, and we are all awakening and talking about the same stuff and creating communities, all of that, and it's not something again planned or someone that bring the subject, let's talk today about this. No, suddenly happens. And like today we start like bringing and talking about every special part of the land, no, of the planet, and that gives me a lot of hope, and because it's gonna happen, because this is not planned. We are not planning to talk about this, and everybody's talking about this, and so
and feel called to it. Like it's almost like
people from Mexico are activating stuff in Mexico. People in Argentina, they are activating stuff in Argentina, and this is happening everywhere. So it's like mind-blowing, really. It's like, and once again, this group is about light languages, and suddenly everybody is talking more and more about this, about the importance of creating the communities, the importance of activating the places, the importance of doing those dots around the planet and do these gatherings like retreats, but just places where everybody's gonna have their own home. I mean, every brother and sister can come and just join and be part of it, and that is really a dream, a dream that I always have had. Like I thought that it was in my mind a movie. Obviously, it comes from lifetimes because in another planets they they do that already. They are built up like that. They live in communities like that already. So I have memories from there, and I know that it's possible. That happens here, and suddenly everybody is talking about it. So it's really amazing, really amazing. And that thing about each place having a different energy, yeah, everybody is gonna. So at some point, all the southern people from the light language group of this Spanish and Portuguese, they will come also to the communities to the north, and the other way around, and that's gonna be amazing. Yeah, hopefully, I hope.
Yeah,
that
I
happen.
feel it, and I do believe that we can travel like I believe that we can travel from continent to continent without a plane. Like I really have this dream of using the ley lines to travel. I get this information so many times that the ancient people knew this already. Like, okay, I'm gonna just one example is, you know, in Egypt there are hieroglyphs. Well, in Nova Scotia, in Canada, in Nova Scotia, the Micmacs are the indigenous people that live in Nova Scotia. They are the Micmacs. And if you look at the Micmacs, their writing is hieroglyphics, just like Egyptian. And you can actually line it up and like translate it. It is unbelievable. And then they had no way of getting there, right? So there's just little hints and clues that says, you know what, we were meant to travel this earth organically, you know, and it has to do with healing our bodies, our light bodies, healing the earth. Because right now I don't think the earth is capable, just because things are sleeping, things are been, you know, they're sleeping and they need to be activated again. But there's something here about healing ourselves, healing the planet, and being able to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Like from healing center to healing center, like if we were each on a sacred land, and then like, so I would go from my location and end up in the Canary Islands, and I'd be like, hello Ismael, and I would take your group and I'm like, come on through the ley lines and I'll bring you to this. How cool would that be? And I know it seems futuristic and all these things, but the downloads I'm getting says that this is very possible in this life.
Very possible, super possible.
Yeah.
Super possible. I mean, it's there. It's also in the Lago Titicaca. They have another type of portal. One door is made of stone. The indigenous, the aboriginals, they have considered it always like a portal that they can go through that portal and appear in another part of the world. So this is there. So how is going to get activated? I don't know, but not yet. We don't know yet.
Oh, you don't know.
But that doesn't make it impossible.
I feel that it activates when our DNA activates. I feel like they're both the one and the same. So as we heal and our consciousness activates our DNA, and we hold a higher consciousness, these gates, these portals naturally respond to us. The reason why we don't know what to do with them is because our DNA isn't at that level yet. But the moment our DNA clicks, then we will be able to see these portals and actually know what to do. Because again, the memories come. Like, look at us remembering past lives and remembering this. And like, I don't know, it's so real to me that I'm like, yes, we can do this, because it's coded within our being. Like, we're here to bring it to planet Earth.
Well, the mathematics of planet Earth is actually running through us. So it's already there on that grand scale, and then it's nodal points within it. So then it's communicating from all these nodal points. So then it stretches out and it's bringing it back in. So then it's the sort of communication from whatever, even the way we use words, it's communicating with the earth. So then it's feeling, understanding that part of the earth. So when you put your foot down in that part of the earth, there's a communication, because you're stepping into that part of the earth. Then there's the land acknowledgement, because it's returning to what already is, and then you're the fabric of that part of you could say that part of the earth, because you're already that part of the earth, wherever it is.
Yes, yeah, and we're made of earth. right? Like
Yeah.
technically we're made of the same elements as Earth. Like we're from Earth.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
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 That's,
Earth. My experience, Earth, and so much more as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's all running through us.
Yeah.
And then it's like understanding what's running through us, because it's like yeah, it's kind of like a computer system really, but it's like a hard drive. Like it's like there's many things running through it, and then but the reality of like what's happening to the planet is we're starting to understand, if I do this, I'm actually affecting myself. So if I'm doing this to the planet, what's actually happening is I'm hurting the Mother Earth, but I'm actually hurting me as well at the same time, because it's that's that connection
That's
of what
powerful.
yeah, because that's us, like, because what's happening is like that Mother Earth is speaking through us, so we're remembering Mother Earth because she's speaking through us.
Yeah.
So and it's the heart, connecting back into the heart. Thinking again, it's like realizing, oh, right, this is us, and that's why even when we were starting to speak, speak the languages, we're starting to communicate. What we're communicating is it's the other part of us. So we're starting to understand, like, no matter what anyone says, it's like, because you resonate with it, because you're understanding, right? I resonate with this because that's that part of you resonate because you get it, like. It's,
yeah, and we are talking different languages, and we and another one of you. I mean, I'm talking a language, and another you, someone from I don't even know who is doing it. It responds in a different language, and somehow I understand what you are saying, and it's totally a different language to the one I'm saying. Yeah. So once again, it's the same thing that we are saying. It's like it's not about the language; it's about the frequency and the vibration that where we are doing the reading, the real reading, the authentic reading. Yeah, because they can sound different to the ear, but it telepathically reach the heart and have a meaningful meaning.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Or actually, it's like, it could be like a piano. And what I noticed as well, sometimes some people speaking it might be returning the same keys, like, so they're still hitting that same or they might keep repeating the same thing. They're still hitting that key. So that's like that octave is still being, like, the gates are open, like the gate, they're, and then it can change. So like that's within that whatever length of time it's going to be, or whoever they're going to be sharing it to, or whether it's a fast scale or whatever is happening for maybe not even that time, is going to be quite a while or whatever, and then it becomes to hit another octave, like hit another set of keys, and then it opens up another field, another set of truth, set of realities, and they're keys, like they're actually keys.
You're right.
Of
absolutely,
the keys.
They're actually called keys, like energetic keys, right?
Keys.
Like,
yeah. Well, we are
codes we bring through keys, key codes.
Through the keys. Yeah.
For a long time, we have lived like this place where we live is something separate from us, and what we are saying here is that gradually, as we ascend, we will be noticing that our own frequency evolution will be activating the different part of Earth. And that will tell us or give us a full understanding that we are one organism with Earth. And it's organic, actually. It's not. It's like this science fiction series where they are in a spaceship, and in the spaceship is half organic or half mechanical or but the same thing, like with the planet and us, including us, like we are AI mixed with organic stuff, let's say, no? And we are something very advanced that we just don't know that we are something very advanced just yet.
Or you might even see the way the ancients would communicate, or if you even to Maori. So when the Maoris would like communicate, or
The Maoris.
or whatever, or whatever, maybe even tribes, they might even throw in, and might even, you know, might be a staff, but an energetic staff. So
Boom.
so then it's going, and then it's bringing in all the force, like. So she was communicating with the ancestors, communicating with the governing force of the planet, and then bringing her in, dialing her in, and then they walked with that. The ancients walked with that, but then it's realizing, right, I got like intelligence here, I got the star nations, so it's like respecting that, because that's a part of me as well, and then it's beyond that again, and that's what's happening. It's like it's so much, so vast. And we're becoming aware of it. Yeah.
I hope that doesn't take that long, really, because I'm really looking forward to live all of that. Really, I think all of us we want to see that happening. Really, often they say in the channelings that it's not that far from. But yeah, sometimes when I'm having a conversation with Metatron, he says, very soon it's gonna happen, don't worry, my son. And I say, soon? How soon? Well, only 20 years from now. And I say, well, 20 years from now, to me, is something quite far, really. And they laugh because for them it's meaningless, and for us it's very meaningful, no? But things take so long, and for them they laugh because for them they don't the time doesn't exist, really. But for us it's so like, wow, what a slow process, really. But yeah, we will have a lot of fun in between. But yeah. I didn't mention the 20 years as it's not something I got from the session or anything. I don't want to mislead anyone watching the video. It was an example. Yeah, it was just an example.
And also, I think that when we find the joy in creation, it's so much fun to think of what we're going to be building here. Like, so that's what I get excited about, is like, if we say like, okay, like we're just like an example, 20 years, that's 20 years to create and build and make these changes. And like, it's only the beginning of what we're discovering, right? So for me, that's like, wow, you know, we're going to be like, it'll be here, say in 20 years. That means within the 20 years, we're actually taking action and doing things, right? Like we're finding the land, we're finding the sacred sites, we're learning how to do this, we're building things with our community. Like all of that are like little stepping stones to get to that final, okay, hey, we really made a shift. Because so anyway, I just find the joy in creating it is there for me. Like I'm down for it. I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
We also so look forward to that. And hopefully it's not gonna be 20 years. Hopefully.
And they like the planet is like there's just us now. Like, to be honest, 6-7 years ago, I was looking the internet about 7 years ago for like language. I never heard of it.
Yeah.
I never heard of it. I was like,
right,
8 years ago, whatever, and I was like, speaking in tongues. I remember coming across speaking in tongues at 2015, I think. It was 2014. I was like going, that might be it. That might be it. Then I'm like going, right, that's kind of it. But then there's, you know, then there's more explanation. But not saying that is still it, because that can be still it. But then there can be more of that.
Yeah.
But in a different branch.
Yes.
Because it can be underneath a certain you know, maybe a certain doctrine or whatever, you know, because it is the whole, like the for me, my experience, what I feel is they're connecting to the Holy Spirit. But
connected to spirit and connected to, I have the feeling that has some sort of connection also with the galactic beings, and and we might, this community might not be only humans, and they might be also with the first hybrids that comes to Earth. Oh my God, that's gonna be amazing! I'm so looking forward to meet that. I mean, they are amongst us already. This hybrid and a lot of galactic beings, they are amongst us already. They just don't show, or they don't say who they are.
Like me. I'm just kidding.
She's a lizard.
I'm 100%. I was born
no.
For the dragons. the dragons too.
I love the reptilians. People, there's so much hate towards them, and I know that in the history they have done so much. I know, but the humans have done also a lot of bad stuff, and I don't think that all humans are bad. So the same feeling I have towards the reptilian, but also before when we were doing the transmission, there was an insectoid, and it was so friendly, so nice, and it was like a fly. It was like a big standing fly, and with the eyes exactly like the flies here on Earth, like with many like hexagonal eyes in the same eye, and it was here. Just here, and it was so lovely, and once again it gave me that sensation that there is still a lot to forgive, and to be more flexible also towards races here, human races, and also races from the outer worlds. But yeah. They say often that we have to deal first with our issues, and start feeling that we are that different. But yeah, this is something that we do in these groups also, the uniting. That's a lot of people misunderstood in the beginning why I was putting Ireland, why I was putting Canada, and they were understanding that in the negative way. And I was saying, well, why do you think I'm doing this to separate? I'm doing that in the opposite way, because I believe that light languages are internationally and multigalactically, and they unite everyone. And this is the new era where we don't see those differences anymore, because we perceive things from the heart. So yeah, we are getting there, and I think I just mentioned one of the things that we need to do first in order to co-create all these communities. Because in order to create one of those communities, we need to create first harmony between us.
Yes. So much, because like this again, I get bubbly in my stomach, because it's like, I know I'm supposed to be doing this, but so I'm as we ascend and as we start to wake up and get more clarity, or we become more lucid down here, we start to really recognize who's who. And I have met many people who are, 3D people, but when I look at them, I see their galactic lineage. I see a lot of reptilians, I see draconians, I see all kinds of beings, I see Pleiadians, I see all the good ones.
Naga, the serpents ones.
Isn't this interesting? So the thing is that what you just said, that first we have to bring harmony and figure out our own stuff, do our own shadow work, and really work on that and be accepting of everyone, because everyone on this planet has a right to be here. So for some reason, they're giving me a poem right now about, there's a poem like, just as much as the stars and the trees, you have a right to be here. Everybody in a human body right now has a right to be on this planet, because planet Earth has said yes. Planet Earth said, yes, you are my child, you belong here. So we need to take that motto And when we start to recognize that our neighbor down the street is a reptilian, you need to have that peace within and says, this person has a right to be here. And then this is how we work together and build the communities and heal one another, because we're going to be healing each other and activating each other's DNA, and then working with the planet. Like, this is really truly how we birth the new earth. And it starts with us. It starts with harmony within us, but then we are going to start to recognize all kinds of different beings. Like, you might be even looking at the TV and you might see on the TV, on the news, like you might recognize certain aspects in the people we see on TV as well. So we need to have a lot of space and a lot of openness, and knowing that they have a right to be here because planet Earth agreed, right?
Oh, how wonderful is that? It's like, for example, when we here in the group, we share things from Ireland, things from Canada, that you have these customs to do. And it's so fascinating, really. But you imagine when you meet also a reptilian, that they are so ancient, or a dragon being, that they've been much before than the human race existed, from the origins of the origins. So it's fascinating, really. It's something since I was a boy, I was getting fascinated by. I mentioned that one week in the group that I was lucky to live in that touristic city called Granada, and a lot of people were coming from everywhere around the world. And to meet the foreigners, that wasn't like feeling invaded or feeling the contrary. To me, everything was so exciting and so interesting. And I used to be, I was just making up that I was a tourist guide, and I was guiding them around the city, but just because I wanted I wanted to get to know them, and I wasn't asking for a fare or for a price or for anything. I just wanted some company. I had a lot of problems at home, and my parents were always fighting, and my brothers and sisters were fighting. And to me, my valve of escape valve was to go in the street and find somewhere or talk to someone. And I was so lucky that, I was seeing groups of Japanese people. Okay, well, I was very extroverted as a child. Then I became more like in a cocoon because of all the wounds that I had to heal and all of that. But naturally, when I was very young, I was talking to everyone, and the feeling was that. The feeling is when we are talking about reptilian, we are talking about other species. I'm feeling the same that what I was feeling when people, they were coming, and I was a boy, and I was looking at them and say, wow, they are so white. or I was a boy, I was little. Wow. But to me, it wasn't anything wrong, but the contrary, it was beautiful. I find beauty in difference. Yeah. Luis?
At the same time, I don't know, do you know the movie They Live?
What movie?
Oh yeah.
There's a movie.
There is a movie called They Live.
The glasses.
Yes.
There were the glasses. Yeah, it's a great show.
Yes, exactly.
Rodney. Yeah, Rodney. He used to be a wrestler. He used to actually be a wrestler.
I know which one is.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And
show.
actually, he started to see all the other beings. That movie is so factual, because they
ahead of its game.
At the same time, there are refugees from wars, galactic wars, and people that used to hide. That I don't know. They just wanted to.
It's like the movie is
also the negative.
It's a representation of what we're talking here in a way, no?
Yeah, but it kind of shows the negative ones, because it's negative, but it was also allowed at the same time, because I don't know, because I think like last year I got to recognize a lot of them, like in the movie, and yeah, some of them are negative and they were just hiding. But I don't know. I heard that a lot of them, some of them, they cannot handle the raising vibration, and they're not going to be able to function here.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And there's also like behind the big television companies, there are a lot of them.
Yeah.
And some people might think it's like conspiracy, but if you know, you know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah. But
I don't know. So, I heard that a lot of them, like they were like kind of cast away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's
Like the negative one.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that, like, you know, they can't handle the raising frequency. And when I speak about how the way that we might be able to move through portals is by our DNA getting activated, and then the planet Earth is recognizing that activation, you're right. There are some older species, maybe beings on this planet that maybe their DNA can't maybe handle the next activation, or maybe their time and their learning on Earth is done. And we do see a lot of there's a big transition happening on Earth right now, right? Like we kind of know this is happening. I mean, we've had a pandemic with people passing away, but we also think that maybe sometime in the future we could have a lot of people transitioning, and that could potentially be because their physical bodies can't handle the upgrade. But then what will they do when they drop the body? Well, you come back in a different body that can handle it. So hey, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. So true. So true too. Well, it depends. It depends. It is here or somewhere else.
Yeah,
Do they even
or
want to come
somewhere
back
else.
here again?
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
they
and
even
it
want to come
depends on
back
the
here again?
soul, right?
They're
It
like,
depends
oh
on
my
the soul.
god, I'm back. I'm back. Oh my god, I'm back. Again and again and again. Again. I'm here again. Jesus.
And hopefully it'll get better and better though, right?
I know. Jesus.
Oh boy.
That's brilliant. It's brilliant to say it. It's brilliant to say it because you remind me of one of my friends, and or no, his mother. She's a healer, and she said that to me. No, I said it to her, and it kind of went up like that, and that's what we were saying. We were just laughing. She was like, "There's no way I'm coming back here again." and again, and again. No, this is the last time. This is it.
Oh.
Right.
So many of us say that.
Yeah.
But when I check that,
Yeah,
a lot. When we are in the other side and we leave this body, we see things in a very different way.
Love it.
We are just, we love it, and we come back like, well, yeah. And if you read also the books from Dolores Cannon, you will see how many people they just want to come back because
how many souls
it's
are
unique.
waiting to get in here? Yeah, how many souls are excited, and we forget what a gift it is, right? Like we're down here and we get all depressed and we miss, it's so funny, but there are so many beings who want to be here.
Yeah, we also chose an interesting moment. We have to admit that we chose a very interesting moment, very crucial, changing, not to say tough moment. Yeah, there will be nicer moments, like we say, once all these communities are established. To come to Earth is going to be more of a pleasure. It's going to be more of a paradise, really, no? And we won't have to go to work, brother. We won't have to go to work next day.
I know that. I must go to work. There's one thing I would say as well, which I'm just gonna sense there, and actually, like a lot of the stuff that's coming up, like we're all feeling, like that's probably in a grand scale as well. So like we're just feeding everything that's coming up because on a grand scale. So
Yeah. Yes.
yeah. So like I don't know like it can be so hard as well because
Bless you, bless you, bless you,
because
bless you, bless you.
it's
Bless
probably
you.
it feels like it's amplified. Everything's amplified. Everything is amplified actually.
Yes.
Everything's become more amplified. Righty, hey, love you all, peace and God bless. And yeah.
Tiana kuata ya.
Kiawea suka
Tiana
na
kuata.
iata uata ya. Kiana suata auiaka kuna kaiata.
Takuanata.
Kua suka. Bye.
Oh, galactic saying goodbyes, no? It's so awesome. This is also sometimes, this is something also that sometimes we are not aware, like Brother Wesley saying before. 7 years ago, I was looking in the internet for light languages, and today we are communicating with them.
Yeah.
Today we are talking telepathically, not only in the same language, but in different languages from different countries. It's really like, what? We are really advancing fast. We are really going fast, more fast than sometimes we sense. No, it's like the feeling when you are at work and doing a boring job and the clock feels like it's stuck. And then when you are doing something that really excites you, like the time doesn't even exist. And this is what really is happening, that because we have been through so much, we are still going through so much. Sometimes it feels like everything is going very slow. But if we really meditate and really make a small comparison in terms of 7 years or a range of 10 years, a decade, wow, it's massive what we are already doing. When we look at each other, like Luis has a perception of how much I have changed since I started these groups. Me, I have a perception of how much Luis has changed since we started and we met. And this is something that sometimes we just don't pay attention to it, or we don't focus on it.
We don't give it enough credit. Like we don't see the value in it, but it really is happening fast.
Yeah, if we really look at it, it's going fast. It's really going super flash, like fascinating, really fascinating. And that's why there is a part of us, one, they say, oh, another period of downloads and stuff, tough energy and transformation and changes. But there is another part that we get so excited because this is happening. That's why in this chit chat, when I meet you guys, I feel like a boy again, like reborn. Honestly, every time I do a chit chat like that, it's like I'm reborn. I'm reborn. Why? Because that essence, from the moment we start doing the chit chatting, raise, and put us in that vibration where we are capable to see all these changes, when we are capable even to touch what is gonna come next.
Yeah.
We know it. Somehow we know it.
Somehow we know it, and we're reminding ourselves, like we complete the conversation, and it's all the pieces of the puzzle, right?
Yeah. And it's like, because we have lived so many timelines as Lyran, as an Arturian, as a reptilian, as an insectoid, as a God knows how many beings. And they have created similar systems of ascension. They have had similar system of being separated, and then suddenly they have an ascension process of changing, and then they start creating communities, and they start creating balance, because we have lived those processes so many times. We have here a perception that that's going to happen, and that is
No,
next,
we feel
because
it.
we still have the memory from, or the knowing inside that we don't know how it's going to be exactly, but we have the feeling that that's going to happen, because
That's
everything
right.
is happening like it was happening in other places.
That's powerful. That is so, because we've done this before. And like, I've heard other light workers say, this isn't our first rodeo. And it's so true.
This is not the first rodeo. That's the
This is not our
expression.
first rodeo.
That's the expression.
Yes. Yes. We've been.
That's what simplifies the 1 hour explanation at night. I could have said that, and that's why I feel so lacking sometimes with the a wandering language. It's like, well, I could say that only in few words.
But I talk in loops too. Like I talk like I take the long way to talk sometimes, because spirit is talking through you, and it's giving off a frequency in everything you're saying. So even though you think it's, oh, you could have summarized it in a few words, no, the whole process you're giving out, the whole process you're sending out energy.
It's also enjoyable, no?
Yes, and you're
because otherwise I wouldn't feel it. Otherwise I wouldn't feel it, because I'm not talking with my mind. I'm talking with my heart.
And the feelings that are bubbling up, and that's the
thank you, Erin, because I'm a little bit. I receive, like I said before. I told you before that I had this strict literature teacher.
Yes.
Taking me out in the blackboard, and very strict and all of that. And I think that didn't come before by accident, and it's because I had to treat it and heal it. And that might be why I'm so strict with myself in not doing loops like that and doing like that. But you just helped me with that so hugely, because it's true. I'm not doing this in purpose. I'm not trying to make this longer. I'm just, my heart is feeling, and I'm translating what my heart is feeling as I talk. There is no more, no less. But then, actually, I mean, when you come with a sentence and say, yeah, that's what I say. I wish I knew.
Like I find that, like, I read my audience, and sometimes, because these videos are recorded and posted on YouTube, we don't know who's going to be listening. So sometimes those words have to come out for that reason. Like sometimes I even wonder why I explain the same thing 3 different ways, but I do it because I'm reading my audience, and it's almost like the codes are coming through and they have to land, right? They have to land in a certain way, and somehow I know it. So now I don't give myself as much trouble.
That's beautiful, because we need to transcend what the mind make us feel. We've been educated that repeating something is wrong, when we are guided to say what we have in our hearts, and if that happens, is because there is a purpose for some reason, for someone.
We're anchoring it some way, somehow it's got to land. And so I think we just intuitively know that, and sometimes it even is like Wesley sometimes speaks in a pattern, and I know that it's coded. Right?
Like, Wesley helped me a lot, honestly. I'm saying this because, I mean, Wesley from the beginning has helped me a lot, because I could see that his mother language is English.
Yes.
And he was doing the same. He was doing loops. And I say, his brother is so similar to me. And I really thought that I'm doing the loops. I've been really having that tough time with this thing, honestly.
Yeah, don't worry.
Not These anymore. No, after today.
Yeah, they're transmissions. And again, my guides tell me that they're sacred. Like it's something not only to not be ashamed of, but it's something to say, like, this is sacred. We have to honor this. This has been lost. And I said it before, we're the walking tablets, we're the walking scrolls. These transmissions are meant to come through. And every transmission is different. So even after we have this talk, if I were to go to another group and maybe have a similar topic, the transmission would be different, because the audience is different, and the energy and the keys landing for other people is different. So the loops are different. No transmission is the same.
No, it's never the same. Also, it might look similar, and maybe the same words come through, But once again, is that even if you are using exactly the same words, there is nothing wrong on that, because you're going to another group where that message needs to be delivered also. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel triggered to, because we talk about trigger when negative things, but we are triggered here with positive things. Exactly. So if I go to another group and I'm triggered because I feel all this love that opens up in my heart, and I feel like saying the whole thing, honestly, so often I don't say and I shut up, because my mind is interrupting me, is stepping in the way and saying, don't say the same thing, because you say that in the other group. So why are you gonna say? And it's totally wrong. I mean, no wrong, because there is nothing wrong. But yeah, I shouldn't let my mind interfere. And also happen because tomorrow I have the Spanish and Portuguese group. So sometimes I say things here that I say there, and it's the same message. And sometimes the mind says, you are saying the same that you said yesterday. And I have to be really strong and say, and what? It's a different language. They also deserve to know what we talked yesterday about, because we are the same thing.
A bridge, and you're a bridge collecting the information, and like it's sacred. Like I see it so perfectly, that like the way you said earlier about how you talk to us in English with the North American, like about like you know, all the countries in the north and the cold temperatures and what's going on here, and then you are able to share it, and in a way, Ismail, you're like uniting the two hemispheres.
Yeah, I feel, honestly, I really feel that love.
Right? Oof. And you come from like, and like you grew up in Spain?
Even if I didn't want it,
right?
I wouldn't be able to avoid that. No. Because you transmit me that love every week. Yeah. So I cannot ignore that. And when the weekend comes, I have the two of them, and I have the two hemispheres in my heart. Yeah. And it's so beautiful.
Bringing information from one group to another is beautiful. Like, that's beautiful. It's important.
So beautiful. So yeah. I mean, thank you, love. Thank you for
Spanish. I can't go and speak Spanish to all those people and tell them all these things. I don't have that ability right now to go and do that, but you do.
Not now, but you might.
I'll be like, download the Spanish. I'll
honestly, you are not saying something silly, eh?
I know, okay.
You're not saying something silly. Once we build up these communities around the world, I'm telling you, it's not going to be that complicated to learn the language from each other.
With telepathy, like when we mix the two, it's
exactly. That's why as well.
That's beautiful.
Because the understanding is already there. So it's a question of only being exposed. And because of these communities are going to exist, and these communities are going to be balanced, people are going to be feeling comfortable. And that's what you need to absorb a language, to feel comfortable, to feel friendly. A lot of people say, I feel so good when I go to Spain, or I feel so good when I go to Brazil. Why that things happen? Because somehow, because of the, obviously, the culture, the history, all the stuff that has been happening, a lot of things happening. But for some reason, the sun has a lot to do with that. Something, the sun creates something, and it creates something that even if you want to avoid it, you cannot avoid it. No. Why? Because it puts your system in a calmness way that you cannot fight it. There is moments in the day that I'm telling you, even you are Canadian, you might not have been in Spain just yet. Have you? Have you, Eric?
No, I haven't been anywhere.
You haven't. Well, one phenomena that you're gonna feel is because of the heat, and this happened also obviously in Brazil. Because of the heat, your system and your body automatically stay in standby. It's like everything stops, like you stopped. Everything stopped. What happened here? Everything stopped. I'm gonna shut up and see if the connection comes back.
Recently. What
Yeah,
the
we
heck?
did.
You've never lost internet, Ismail. I'm like fascinated right now. Holy map. Wait, you're on mute. You're on mute. What?
Something maybe I wasn't meant to say.
What were you gonna say? Like you were talking about the sunshine affecting people, but
It affects people.
we normally glitch. You never glitch. So, and then for a minute, Ismail, after you glitched, I said, wait a minute, it must be my internet. I'm looking at me, right? And then I see Louise move. I said, wait a minute, Louise and I are not frozen.
The interesting thing at this side is that happened exactly when I was mentioning these words. There is a time during the day when the sun is outside there that your body gets in a state of standby. And suddenly I saw all your screen in a standby, frozen. And then I lost connection.
Oh, man.
All of that happened exactly when I say that. Exactly when I say that.
Wow.
So yes, in all the warm countries, there is a period during the day that you cannot do absolutely nothing. And the day itself and the heat itself makes you stay in a state of standby.
Right.
That it can be taken negatively if you are very fussy about, oh, it's too hot, this is like hell, and all of that. Or you can take it spiritually and say, this is a state of the day that usually in the places where I have lived before, I don't experience. And the sun itself is putting me in a standby. The sun itself is putting me in meditation mode.
Right.
And that creates an extra calmness that happens in people. Some people can channel that. Some people get more, I'm more excited or more like party. But I have found through my life that when I was younger, in the party. And then as I was understanding the whole thing here, being on Earth, I was understanding the connection of why the sun behaves in these places that way and why on those lands everything stops. Everything stops. And that it has something also to do with what is going to happen also in communities and all of that. And it's going to be, I mean, what I'm trying to say also is that bring to the body stillness, that bring to the body something that the Buddhas do through meditation. And the sun itself has something that makes the body be still like that way. And some lizards, some reptiles, some other animals, they do the same. When the sun is heating a lot, they stay still, and they use the energy of the sun. And I know I'm not saying this accidentally. I know I'm saying this for a reason. I still don't know why, but I think it's something to do with these different experiences that we are going to have going from community to community. For example, if I go to the community in Canada, I'm going to have these cold baths. that we that is gonna.
I'm laughing at the first time I see you do that.
Yeah, well, that is gonna be really a movie. That has to be recorded, but that because that's gonna be a real comedy, and it's gonna take me months to do that. But yeah, it's something that is gonna incorporate in our lives as we travel from community to community. And we are going to get all these things that at this time or in this period we don't give important to those or much important to those things just yet, but at some point in the future they are going to be something that is going to be also activating and balancing and co-creating and healing inclusively.
Yes, I feel that strongly. Yeah, and it has to, perfect.
And I think, me, because I come from that area of the world, I'm Luis as well, we might find that affinity. And over the centuries, we have been feeling that affinity between the Southerns. The same way that through history, the Nordics have found affinity with each other. Now, when we create the globalization, the one organism together, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere is going to get the good from each other. And that is going to be complementary. It's going to be, it's like at the moment we are sharing the north, let's say, it's an example. It's like the north is sharing the element of water and the element of air. And the south is sharing the earth element and the fire element. So at some point, all the communities, when they gather together, we are going to be complete because we are going to be sharing all the elements together. And that's going to happen, I know that, because otherwise this wouldn't be coming through.
I love it. I love it.
And I feel it. I mean, I know it's true. I know even now that if we go and visit Luis in Brazil, we are going to be sharing this. I know, maybe not in the level that we will be sharing it in the future, but in a certain level we do. And if we go and visit you in Canada, all the things that you share with us is going to influence us. And it's going to get in our memory, it's going to get in our system, it's going to get, and we are going to grow because we grow. We grow constantly, we grow.
And I was just thinking about even the different medicines that are available. So in Canada, we have a lot of pine trees. It's like pine needle medicine. You can make tea and stuff with it. And it's just, there's such I've got a connection with the pine forest. We have this huge boreal forest in Canada. It's massive, right? So that kind of medicine, and then when we think about in the South about just the different plants and all the medicines that are available there. So even just sharing the different
just plants. The colors, the tropical, no?
Yes, oh my gosh.
To us is the same. To me, for these 20 years, obviously, I have found fascinating how different is UK to just 1 hour and 30 minutes from
almost
here.
Like another planet sometimes.
It's another planet, totally. Because in one place you can cultivate avocados and bananas, pineapples, and you come here and you cannot. You have to eat more cauliflowers and pumpkins and things like that.
Underground growing.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. That all the earth is complementary. We have created the separation. Humans have created the separation, conquering. That was wrong? No, it was part of the history, it was part of the evolution, that we were just very primitive. And now we are going to different stages of evolution.
It's exciting.
It's so amazing. And actually, I truly hope that we meet before all these communities happen. Because I'm feeling it with the language group also from in Spanish and Portuguese. That hopefully when all this pandemic thing ends and they open the door again, so that we can start organizing sort of meetings, points, whatever, maybe Manchester or maybe Rio de Janeiro.
There's beautiful places we can go. Like I'm being called too to go to Costa Rica. There's something in Costa Rica, you know,
Costa Rica.
Right? So like, you know, we could all meet like, you know, or just have an invitation, say we're going to be here on this date and try to make it, because there's all these beautiful meeting places that are.
Do you know what means rica?
No, what does it mean?
Rich.
There you go.
So Costa,
yes.
coast, rica, rich.
Yeah. Rich, yeah.
I mean, just the name is telling you there is something special there.
There is.
And they didn't put the name by accident. There is a lot of rica richness there. A lot of yes. And Mexico is honestly, Mexico is Mexico. We have an idea of Mexico, but if you explore how huge is Mexico, also it's paradisiac. It's paradisiac. Brazil is paradisiac also. What they show us in documentaries is all partial. It's just a piece of.
Yeah, it's a teeny tiny, and then they make all these big,
nothing.
Huge, and it's not accurate. They're programming us to think.
Yeah, to keep us separated, because these darkness beings, they always knew that our tendency is to do what we are going to do.
Yeah,
and they have tried to do everything as possible.
Well, and look, like, you know how we said it's our awakening and it's happening so fast, and look at where we were 7 years ago, and look where we were 3 years ago. Well, that's also what has a lot of them shaking, right? Because it is happening fast. Like this momentum is growing.
They're going to lose power.
I know. And see, this is where grace comes in. This is where the grace and that shadow work comes in, because we mentioned it before, but they're really scared of it all ending, because they really feel like they did something wrong and all this stuff. And yes, from a 3D point of view, very low human point of view, maybe you could point the finger at them and say, you guys were the bad guys. But in the end, this is truly all meant to be. And Earth, like I always take planet Earth as my role model, because she allows all beings to be here. And so, yeah, like they're shaking in their boots because they know their time is coming to an end, but they don't know what's really coming. And they think that they've done something wrong. And
they don't know that they can in seconds join us.
This is it. And like the connection with the earth, like basically when money loses all value and love is the new rich and everything like that, it'll happen, you know. And we just have to be patient.
I want it now.
I know.
I want it now, especially after these 3 years of being in one place. Before I started the awakening, before 2012, I was working as a dental hygienist. And my salary was really, really good. I was able to travel every month. So I had 3 weeks work and then 1 week holidays every month of the year. So, imagine from doing that for 9 years to feel stuck in one place and saying, all this COVID thing, and even more, because with all the COVID thing came with a lot of density, with a lot of stuff, with a lot of feeling that they were putting you in a cage, no?
And for me, like, it was a big fear pandemic when I tapped into the collective. Everybody was afraid, right?
Totally.
And I remember I felt so bad one day because I went into a store. And the lady, I kind of leaned too close to ask her a question, and she jumps away from me. And I meant by me getting close, I was trying to offer her love. And this is at the beginning before I could get used to the idea. But basically I was leaning forward thinking I was offering her energy and love and friendliness. And the way she reacted and jumped back, she was scared, and I felt so bad. Like even after I left the store, I was playing it in my head like, oh, that poor lady, I didn't mean to frighten her that way. But that's what I was tapping into, is that the density that came with this pandemic was so much fear. And yeah, the locking in and everything, right? Restriction, but just the fear itself, it was like, you know, the best thing to keep ourselves healthy is to have a high vibration. And then if we're scared, right,
Totally.
it's going to lower the frequency and make us sick. So yeah,
it's like your children, no? They're having a high vibration right now, no?
I know, they're outside, everybody's playing. It's beautiful here. It's finally spring. This, you know, it's finally getting nice. So everybody's outside running and playing.
It's nice, yes. Here as well. Finally, it's spring, and we are having sunny days. Yeah, yesterday I had 11-hour session. I started at 5 and I ended at 4:30 a.m. With a lady. Why I started at 5 p.m. because the lady was from California and is 7 hours behind. So she started at 9 in California, started at 5 here, and I ended 4 a.m. But during the afternoon, oh my God, this room was really an oven, because I had to have this door closed, and I separated the room, like the flat, in two. Brujita, my cat, live in the other side, and with the windows open to the gardens, so that she have that freedom. And when I'm having a session, I have to use this other part of the flat, and you see me here doing the session and boiling. It was like, wow. But yeah, I was so often looking through the window and saying, wow, this is because here is not common to have sun. In UK, there is something with the clouds. There is always clouds, rain. Maybe it's not cold anymore in summer. It might be not cold, but you might have 20 degrees Celsius, but it's raining. You don't see the sun, and so yeah, there is a part of you that wants the sun. And when the sun comes out here, all the English people come out like the snails when the rain appear. It's like they are all outside. It's really interesting to experience. Yeah, and I know a lot of people will have said, "Well, why are you doing a session in a day like this, Ismael?" Well, it wasn't planned. It was the Master 11 day, a master number, and actually we were talking to Jesus for more than 9 hours. Usually,
Wow.
the being that come through or to the session talks through the person who is hypnotized.
Mhm.
And the question that the person brings to the session, I ask those questions to that being. Sometimes it's Jesus, sometimes it's Horus, sometimes it's Maria Magdalene, sometimes another beings, many beings. Sometimes it's Isis, sometimes it's many light beings that I come across with in this session. And then I ask these questions. Sometimes are only spirit guides that they have around, only in bracket, because only to me they are the same. All of them are important, equally important. But the thing is, what happened yesterday is that Jesus started asking me that I have to be the one answering the question. So the session was being guided by Jesus through the woman, asking me to channel other light beings. And so my mother, my grandmother, my grandmother, and my auntie started bringing the answers through me. And Jesus was asking me the questions.
This is crazy.
This is mind-blowing.
Wow.
And I know that I took so long to explain all of this, but I'm telling you, because if I don't share this with someone, I'm going to explode like a tomato. Because this is, you cannot keep this to yourself. It's like, what the heck just happened? And that happened for so many hours yesterday. And it's really the thing more mind-blowing that I ever experienced, that Jesus is guiding a hypnosis session, asking me the question that the lady brought to the session, and then I was channeling the answers, and I didn't know any bloody answers that the lady brought to the session. Otherwise, we don't do the session. I reply, and that's it. So I was doing the channeling, and Jesus was saying, he was doing this with the hand. And with the hand, this meant yes. Yeah? When the hand like this and like this was me, it meant light languages.
Wow.
When he was doing like this, it meant totality.
Wow.
When he was doing this, it meant like partially.
Okay.
So because I was asking for guy, I was channeling, and I was saying, Jesus, is that the whole question that she needs to hear? Is that the whole answer that she needs in these sessions to receive? And he was doing partially. So, and I was asking, do I need to do something else? And he was doing more light languages.
Wow.
And then the light languages, as soon as I was channeling the light languages, the messages were like downloading. That was really like, wow, the first time in my life that this happened. And that's why today was channeled that. It was channeled. Use the light languages to help yourself channeling messages to planet Earth. Because if that happened yesterday to me, means that everybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Until it doesn't happen, we don't believe it. And Jesus had to put me in that situation for me to start believing that I can do that. So.
I was going to say that it sounds like he was getting you to expand your abilities, right? To give you
totally.
Right? To be like, you can do this. And
he was. The lady was talking the language of Jesus with signs, but then from time to time, the lady was coming back and she was saying, he's laughing to what you are saying, and he says this and this and this, and that and because I was complaining sometimes, I was saying, well, what's going on here? That it seems like we have changed roles.
Yes.
Why you don't start working a little bit, Jesus? I say that like that.
You're so funny.
And then the woman started laughing.
I think I would too.
And she say, he's laughing so much. But do you know what day is today? And I say, what? And I say, it's a master number. And that's why you are being guided to master your skills.
Ooh, that's good.
And he took it to such an extreme that after 11 hours exactly, that it lasted the session, 11 hours as well. The length was 11 hours at the end. Well, that's what the lady say. I didn't calculate how many hours were. Because Jesus kept pushing. He kept pushing like, and now more light languages. He was saying more light languages. And I say, and honestly, you see the video, the white part of my eyes were red already.
Okay.
Red. And I say, look, with all the due respect, Jesus, I say like this in Spanish.
With all due respect, yeah.
With all due respect, Jesus, I cannot go on. And I'm going to tell you something. If I do continue going on, I'm going to start working against my body. I'm going to start harming my body because I don't feel that I can channel anymore.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then the lady starts laughing and laughing. And I say, what's going on? And she say, because that is part of the test.
Wow.
He was testing also
to see if you had
to see if I have the awareness and consciousness to when I stop the session.
Wow.
Because that is something we have to do for self-love and for self-respect.
Good job.
Wow. I was like, wow.
Makaru harakayas karakarianta horotai kakamarai kapanara hiaranara